All right. So we're on a black screen of death. I'm about to turn on the audio so people can hear you. Say hello.
Nothing's breaking so far. Hello, everybody.
Awesome. And then I'm going to hit transition, which should change the scene so they can see us.
Here we go. Hello. I just got an ad on your stream.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect. Old dog, new tricks. I'm
Yeah.
learning, but I haven't learned that much. I actually thought I turned my ads off.
Well, I don't. Maybe it's a me thing. Maybe it's a me thing. I don't know.
Because let me just have a look. I'm going to go to screen capture here.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I can see it.
Yo,
That's a
baby.
good overlay, bro. That is a nice overlay.
Yeah,
I
I
like
had
that.
to chop the picture in a little bit dodgy. I apologize for that. Guys, if you could see what I see, Valiant looks way better than I've chopped him, but I've chopped him a bit weird. Just because I'm learning, old dog, new tricks and all that stuff. But welcome one and all. I like to say a little something at the start of a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So let me just think about what I'm going to say. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a whole heap of cool stuff. So since it's actually going to go on your podcast, I'll let you do an intro while I look something up.
Sounds good. I'm going to hit record on my end too. Ready?
Alrighty.
It's starting in 5. It should count down for you. Look, see, it's counting down. Can you see it? Can you see it?
I can.
It's counting down. You can't.
I can't. I got the screen up.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Aaron Davies from the Fandom Portals podcast. Some people also know me as Valiant, which is this person here. I'm with a very special guest today, somebody who I've known for a while. So let's get a roaring welcome for the man whose creativity knows no bounds. He's an avid TTRPG player. He's beloved on lots of Discord servers and communities. His kindness and his high energy is well known throughout the D&D space. He's a proud father, a gamer, and most importantly, this man is a friend. It's the one and only Mitchell, aka Modbrew or Mod.
Yo!
How you going,
Yay! Hey, honestly, halfway through that intro, it was getting so good. I was like, there's going to be a special guest. And I started looking behind me. Then I realized you don't know where I live. So there's no fucking chance someone's walking in behind me.
No, it was simply you,
Oh,
man. It
God.
was simply you.
I'm
That's
going
all
to redo that.
No, you can do it. It's all good.
No, I swore.
It's fine. It's all
I
good.
swore. I'm so sorry.
I can
little
cut out
children.
words. It's all good.
But there was no way you were going to sneak in behind me. See how I did that? Didn't miss
Yeah,
a
I know.
cue. But no,
Exactly.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm a big fan of the Valiant Odyssey podcast. I'm big fan of your accents. I'm mainly here just to get some lessons on how to do
Oh
accents.
yeah, man. It's it comes from a big history of just watching TV and parroting lines on TV from characters, and I don't think I did it intentionally to the point where I think I actually annoyed my family doing it. So if I watched something on TV, for example, let's say like Pirates of the Caribbean, have you seen that part where the crusty barnacle guy is like part of the ship, part of the crew,
Uh,
and he sucks himself
yeah.
back into the wall? He's like part of the ship, part of the crew,
Part
and I
of
just
the
said that
crew.
walking through the hallways of my house all the time. It surely just imagine that at night time. It's just no, thank you.
Oh,
But that's how I got good. So
terrifying.
the price is obviously you know, losing some friends and family because of annoyance.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that I don't think anyone would have left because of that, because voices are always fun. Any of my friends that do voices, I kept them around. The ones that didn't, I got rid of them. Just dead weight.
Well, that's why I'm here, you know.
Exactly
Still
right.
help. Hey, you don't do such a bad voice yourself, though. I've played some TTRPGs with you. Your accents go all right.
I like my voices go. I do the Aussie bogan. I do
yeah.
like the bogan English guard.
Oh,
You know, just
the
like a
Cockney?
right.
The Cockney.
Yeah. Just
Yep.
nice, dumb, low IQ. So basically, any country low IQ, I can do. That's sort of my wheelhouse.
What about if you've ever played the Fable games? There's always just that villager sort of accent that everybody kind of does.
Yes. Yeah, I know the
Walk into
exact
a
accent.
shop.
I think that's what I modeled it off. I modeled it off that, and also Monty Python, like, bring out your dead.
Yep, that's the way. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
God, they're so good.
I know they're really good. So let's get into some questions, I guess, because we sort of started to have a chat and talk about. We discussed that we were going to have a talk about, you know, our love of gaming, fostering that love of gaming in a community and with our kids as well, and also growing up with gaming in the 80s and the 90s. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I know for sure that when I was growing up, I think I got my first console when I was about 6. It was a Sega Mega Drive. What's your earliest memory of gaming?
Earliest memory was our rich neighbor across the road had an Atari. So when it came out, he got Pitfall, so that was pretty impressive. But 4 years before that, my parents, for work purposes, got a computer. And on it, it had chess called chess.exe.
Yep.
So absolutely no frills there. And there was also a game called Target, where all it was a picture would pop up on the screen. There would either be a guy with a gun or a girl screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to click on it.
Yeah, so you had to click the obviously the gun wielder.
The gun, yeah, it wasn't Men in Black where it was like girl, little girl in the ghetto reading advanced quantum physics books.
Yeah, those books are way too advanced for her.
No, that guy was sneezing.
Yep, and he got the job. Well, that's thinking outside the box. I love that too.
Oh, dude, such a good movie.
Yeah.
The only way the movie could be better is if they re-released it, and when he pulled that, Tommy Lee Jones walked out and slapped him.
Yeah, that would have been great. I think if they did that in this day and age, they probably would, because so much has changed between movies then and movies now, and same as gaming as well. Like gaming then and gaming now. So I obviously remember the Sega Mega Drive being like a side-scrolling kind of game.
Oh yeah, Lion King.
Did you ever
Aladdin?
play like Golden Axe?
Golden Axe. Oh my god.
That's where my love of fantasy kind of really sort of kicked off. It sort of planted the seed that would later be ignited and watered by the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But
no, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so like Golden Axe is, if you don't know it to the listeners, it's a side-scrolling game where you can pick one of 3 characters. You have a barbarian, you have a female sorcerer who's also kind of like a warrior princess as well, and then there's like a little dwarven battlesmith basically, and you run around through the different levels, and one of them's on the back of an eagle, one of them's on the back of a turtle, and you're basically going on this quest to find the Golden Axe. And I just remember some of the respite parts in between levels where you'd find that guy with a little sack bag. That's it. Yeah. Ingrained in the memory, and it sounds mean, but you'd go along and you'd kick that guy, and he'd give you all the loot. So, and then you get potions and throw out the potions. But those sorts of simple side-scrolling games, there was no grinding. It was just a quest, and it was actually the first co-op game that I
That was an amazing game. Like that.
Yeah.
I will tell you a game that I put Golden Axe right up there, just under its Battletoads.
I never played Battletoads.
Battletoads is like Double Dragon, but and like Golden Axe, except they got the combat to a point where it was really cool, and then the stages are basically like space, sort of like 80s techno manga Battletoads fighting in Technicolor.
Yeah.
So it's basically the next Golden Axe. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But Golden Axe was right at the top. Like that was a great game, and just above that was Cyberdogs.
Oh, mate, that's 2 I haven't heard of. I pretty much dove in at Golden Axe, and you know how I'd probably different now as well, but when you're a kid, you had like one game and you played the absolute crap out of it because that was what you had. And
Alex the Kid in Miracle World for me, yeah.
Yeah. The only way I played different games was when we went to the video store, the Blockbuster or the Video Easy, and you got the games for the weekend or the night or whatever.
Isn't it amazing? You used to rent a game overnight for like $6.50.
Yep.
And that was back when $6.50 was like...
And that was your allowance, man. That was your pocket money.
Well, yeah, to put things in context, when I started working as an apprentice, I got paid $4.90 an hour.
Bro,
so
that's extortion.
A full hour's work plus a bit would get me an overnight video game. So...
But, you'd probably pump as many hours into that game in that overnight space. And that's basically how our generation learned to not sleep at nighttime. It's all because of Video Easy.
Sleeping is for the weak.
Well, especially when you've got games to play. But yeah, they even used to do PC games that you'd have to install on your computer overnight and then take back. And obviously we had the family computer, and yeah, my father wasn't impressed with the amount of games that would just go on there all the time.
We never had that come out, and I never saw a PC game that you could
Yeah,
hire.
yeah.
That's
No,
great.
this was in sort of Wollongong area near around Sydney. But I remember that's the first time I ever played the Star Wars pod racing game.
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a banger.
That was a really good game. I actually really enjoyed that. That was right up
Yeah.
there. I actually
But
saw
yeah.
someone playing it on Twitch recently.
Oh, I think I did too. And you know how some people have the Formula One car setup that they have, and they drive around on that Formula One sort of car setup.
Yeah.
This guy actually had like the Anakin pod racer sort of built in with the screen in front of him. He was doing the gears and everything like that. And
God.
there was two fans at the top of him sort of blowing on him, so he felt like he was really in it. But
Listen, if that
That's
guy's
some
got a
dedication.
relationship, you know he wears the pants.
oh yeah, or that's like his weekend, like the olden days, you know.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
I wish, man.
Oh, it'd be nice, you know.
Sorry, I'm
But,
just chopping your camera so you look prettier. There you go.
There we go.
There
No,
you
that's
go.
fine. Whatever you need to do, man. But I think like we've been talking about all these older sort of games, and for me, the Golden Axe sort of really sort of fed into my love of RPGs, which then fed into my love of TTRPGs, which is how we actually sort of met each other through a tabletop RPG.
Yeah.
So what sort of allowed you to move from that transition into gaming? Because what was TTRPGs your first dive into
No.
playing?
TTRPGs came really late in life for me. I actually was having a grand old time doing everything else. We've spoken about this, but ADHD. So basically, my life consisted of sports, craziness, drama, drinking. I was the one that threw the parties at my school. I was the one that threw parties for my marching band. Oh, I was in a marching band.
Yep.
I was in jazz bands. My day didn't end until like 9 or 10 at night most nights, and then
Yeah.
I played computer, and then I'd be up at 5 doing other stupid stuff.
Yep.
So I was away with military when I was about 34, and I was talking to my friend Luke and Ross and that, who will actually be on my stream on Monday. And when I was gone away, throwing a bucks night for 3 guys that were getting married when we got home in a penthouse thing we rented with pools and strippers and everything. That was just the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. Apparently, when I spent $10,000 in like one weekend, they stayed on base and saved their money and played D&D, and I had no idea. And then eventually, after years of me partying and them playing, they're like, "Hey, would you like to play with us?" And I was like, I've never heard of this game before. I'm a music, drama, singing, like, gamer that used to play Warhammer. How is this not on my radar? I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
And I fell in love. And I will throw in my quote here. I normally do it at the start of my stream. Although I'm late to the game, I will say it's a Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time is right now. So as soon as I found it, I planted that tree, and I've been building my skills ever since.
Yeah, you've been watering that tree every day. I know I can
Every
attest
day.
to that too, because you have a YouTube channel that you do, and you also have been on a lot of people's YouTube channels, including Luke, the guy that you were talking about before.
Yes.
You and I play frequently on the Crit and Miss,
which is a great community.
server.
Miss,
It
look it up.
absolutely is. Yep, and that's kind of leading me to my next question. Like for D&D, I think the appeal for me not only was the fact that you're obviously escaping into these imaginary worlds and you get to build all these characters that are, you know, really you exploring different parts of yourself, but it was also really fun to explore that with friends and explore that with community and community building. And harkening back to when we were talking about the gaming experience, my earliest love of these games was how cool the games were, but it was also playing with my brothers, and just like co-oping through a level and beating that challenge together, you know, is just that's what gaming is all about to me. And to the point where when I started to play solo, I kind of lost a bit of interest in gaming, but you know, that come back because lots of studios now are making amazing single player story
I stand
games.
with you then. I stand with you. Like my biggest issue is like Baldur's Gate 3 is the greatest game ever made. I cannot believe how good it is. I still haven't finished the first act because I struggle to play it on my own because I've played it with you. I've played it with other people. It was so much fun playing it with people. And then as soon as I'm playing it by myself, I'm like, did you see that?
Oh.
Nobody. Maybe I should record it. Maybe I should stream it so someone gets to enjoy it with me.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that all comes down to the absolute crux of like Dungeons and Dragons and games like Baldur's Gate 3. It's the people that you play with and the community that you build. So we mentioned before the Crit and Miss community and some of the different sort of gaming communities that you've been a part of. You started as an Among Us gaming community, correct? So can you talk to us about what that was, but also what it was to build that community, and what do you think makes a good gaming community?
So, the way it all happened was I got introduced to Among Us by a few friends playing it. I got into it. I started playing it late at nights for extended periods of time and made random friends on the internet, which branched into meeting the developers of the game.
Oh, nice.
Who then just randomly I got invited to play with some people online, some bigger people, and they gave me early access to the next release. So I was playing on the dev mode before it all released, which was amazing. I ended up playing. I got to kill Corpse once, and I played against Sykkuno as well. Unfortunately, the Sykkuno one was not a voice one, but it was one of those ones where it got verified later that it was him by watching him on stream. But yeah, it was good. It was good. The thing that got me was I loved it so much. I love the concept of, and I'll come back to D&D with this. The thing I loved about Among Us is the more you played it with your friends, the better you knew them and the better the game got. Because the thing that binds all these games together, TTRPG, murder mystery, board games, is when you're playing the player, not the game. And I'm not saying like D&D, you have to win. But when you're playing a card game, when you're playing Among Us, you're trying to manipulate the situation to your favor, but you're also not trying to be an asshole. So it's like a really amazing social experiment in a 10-minute package.
Yep.
And if you repeat that 200 times, all of a sudden, any movement you make, it's like playing poker. Any movement you make, any eye contact, any lack of a response becomes an admission of guilt that you are the one.
Yep.
And then it gets more intense. And we were playing with like 6 different types of killers and all the different normal modes and engineers and psychics. And it got to the point where like our relationships had gone so far that I was really enjoying it. So I decided to myself, like, we need to add some stakes. Yep. So I started running a competition.
Oh, very cool.
Where we'd actually have set things we'd do and different... and it got lots of fun, and it built and built and built. And the thing that actually ended it was that people started really getting aggressive, trying to get spots on the stream. And I sort of said, listen, guys, like, I wish you well. I don't want to spend time fighting with my friends and arguing about things that, you know, as long as we all get a share. But yeah, it was a bit sad. But going back to D&D and TTRPGs, the reason I love them isn't because they hide... Like, a lot of people say that in TTRPGs, you hide in them and you hide in your character and you live in a different world. While that is technically true, that you are in another world and it's different rules, I actually think, because I've got a thing that I say a lot, but it wasn't until I met my wife that I really felt that anybody was hearing me. Because
that's beautiful, man. That is really beautiful.
You got to marry the right person, man. Like, it literally was a case of
using that line.
Yeah, it was just, I'd been talking my whole life, and not like most people take what you say and then hear it through their lens and think you say a different thing or that you meant a different thing. It's very hard to understand people. I think with D&D, when you're playing a character and then you play another character and you play another character, every character always has truth based in from your personality, from your values, from the things that make you unique, and they will always travel through. And it's one of those things that I feel you truly get to know someone when you spend time learning about the way they see other characters. Because if you were to portray me, or I was to portray you, there were parts of your character that would come out in my portrayal of you, but there would also be things that you could see that are coming straight from me.
Yeah.
So it's that bit that comes through the filter that I think is the most truest part of a human's love, happiness. Like, it's a real connection that you can grab hold of, and you can really spot the 1 in a million people when they start role playing, because a lot of those things start to shine. And it's why some of the most famous TTRPG players, every character they have, you fall in love with. It's because they're a genuine person inside, and they've got a certain spirit that you adapt to, that you like. And as they're playing characters, it keeps exuding out, even when they're trying to play something else. And it's one of those things that I don't like to blurt it out, because a lot of people like to hide behind the idea of their disappearing. But I think what D&D is, and this is why I want to talk to Ali about this stuff, is a lot of D&D for me is actually like therapy, allowing people to be themselves. Because that's something I've never struggled with. I was the kid that, like, I loved basketball, and I was the only kid that played basketball until like year 9. And I played on my own if I had to, because I loved it so much. I was in marching bands, I was in choirs, I did everything that I was told guys aren't meant to do. But then I also did the guy stuff if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So it was like...
No, I think that's really, really insightful. And also the truest sort of form of yourself that you're sort of playing as you go through these characters. I definitely agree. Because I know myself, when I've played some characters, the characters that I've played when I'm going through something in my life, for example, and I remember this because one of the first times I ever got to play as a player, because I'm always a DM,
Yeah.
one of the first times I got to play as a player, it was because I needed to step away from DMing for a while. And the character that I played was this grizzled old paladin that had basically just stepped completely away from his order due to a moral reason, and he was just shunning the world. And I thought, like, that was the character I wanted to play at the time. I didn't really want to dive too much into it. But then looking back on it now in retrospect, I'm like, I think I was actually going through something there. And then through that game, I was able to connect with the other players through the game, and then connect to their characters, open up as my character, find that, hey, these are some friends that I can hang out with, and go on through that way. And it's that game of D&D that helps you, that community that sort of ties you together, and finding those good players and those people you can do that with is really valuable, and really it's irreplaceable, which is why I think the crew that are at the Crit and Miss server is really good to play with, because everybody there that I've played with has been an absolutely amazing experience.
Yeah. And like, that's exactly right. Like, they're like, you go through things with them. One of my, sorry, before we go too far away from Golden Axe, I was going to mention it before. Sorry, I'm going to jump back. This is my ADHD.
No, yeah, that's all right. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
So when we were talking about Golden Axe and we talked about the little elves,
Yep.
The first time I ever DM'd was for my brother, for Luke, who was my first DM of 3rd edition. So he was technically my first DM. JR, who was my first DM of 5th edition. So literally my brother, who was my first one shot, and my first 2 DMs were my and then my best friend Jerem, who I grew up with, like, from the age, well, one of my 2 best friends that I grew up with, sort of thing. And literally was those 4 at a table, and we were doing a module for about, I want to say 40 minutes, and I was like, screw that, that's boring. And we went into some crazy thing, And as they're walking out to go to a quest, they had a rest, and then the person on watch rolled a 20 for perception, and I was like, "You hear some music?" And
you did it.
And yeah, a little leprechaun with like a big sack over his shoulder started running around, and I was like, "It looks like there's gold or something in the thing." And they ran around, they're trying to chase it, and one of them kicked it, and health potions flew out, and.
Did any of them get the reference? Did any of them get the gold
At the time, no. One of them just wanted to kick it because he thought it'd be funny to kick a leprechaun.
Well, that is the right thing to do because the game taught us that,
I think it was built in from history that that's what he wanted to do, but it wasn't until afterwards I was like, "Did you get that?" And they're like, "Oh, I just wanted to kick the little guy." But yeah, now I'm with you. Golden Axe is awesome.
I get it now. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like, I need to put one of that little guy in my campaign and just have him.
It is
rolling around
good.
as an ongoing gag.
It's really fun, and it's even good if you make it like a thing that happens once. They get a magic item, but you have it so you actually have because you play in real life, so you'd have to do it on your phone or something.
Yep.
But for me, I'd just have it loaded so that like if I wanted to play it, I could just click the button, and it would play the music.
Oh yeah.
And then you don't do it for a while, so they're all going to rest, and they're all like,
Is it gonna happen?
And
I
you
think
wait.
that would every single time there would be a rest after that. Someone would ask. They'd be like, "Is the leprechaun here?"
It'd be the
creates
new.
that moment.
Are we gonna get a level?
Yes. Or I have dark vision, which is if you're listening to this and you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, we know.
Yeah, you've got dark vision. Yeah, 100%.
We know.
Oh, I had a conversation about dark vision with Fizz, who's in chat the other day, because we're talking about D&D and dark vision and the mechanics of it, which is honestly the biggest nightmare I've ever dealt. I like the way you deal with it in your games because you barely deal with it. You talk about it being dark and you might do a disadvantage here and there, but like you make it like a real light, which is how I think, in D&D rules, if there's a guy carrying a torch 200 feet away, and he's walking, waving it around, going, "Shoot me."
You can see that guy.
Yeah, you can see that guy, but in D&D,
exactly.
if you're in the shade under a bush, technically you're in darkness and you're going to shoot with disadvantage at the guy. But yeah, so the I think the first character I ever played was actually it was just after my son was born, and I think it was like. I was working through a lot because I was really struggling with having kids because like I loved my kids and I loved my wife and everything was good. But the concept, I'd been carefree and absolutely no fear of death. I used to do cliff jumping and absolutely ridiculous things when I was younger.
I agree, man. I'm 100% there with you. Same thing when I had my son. You immediately get that fear of the end, but also pending responsibility because that little thing is relying on you for everything. Yeah, I 100%. I'm with you.
So it's one of those. It built up. I got scared, and then my first character was literally a celestial warlock that was like raised in a cult, and the second that he sacrificed his son was when he realized that he was in a cult and he couldn't take it back. And then he made a pact. And basically, as I was going through in Adventure League, basically to achieve his goal, he had to do a certain amount of good in the world to make up for what his son would have done.
Yep.
Because, son, infinite possibilities. And basically, I was counting all the healing points I did throughout, and it was like, basically every time he healed people, he was scarring himself and all this horrible shit. It was like this full big thing, but it was basically dealing with like the concept of my life being worth less than my wife and my children's, and like how can you? And so it was this really deep thing that I was working through and I was really struggling with. And by the time I finished that character, I was much more comfortable being who I was. Yeah.
Or you at least approached it in a different way, or in an enlightened way, I guess, because you were able to explore that sort of fear that you had in a sort of safe manner with friends around the table too. And I can definitely absolutely relate, because becoming a father for me was life changing, both mentally. You have to mature very, very quickly.
Oh yeah,
And,
the drive home from the hospital.
Yeah, that's exactly how long it takes.
How do I drive again?
Yeah, the speed limit's 60. I know.
Why are these maniacs doing 60? It's a
Yeah.
60 zone.
That's it. And I think I have put in NPCs, because forever DM, but also played potential characters that have just protective instincts, because that just exudes from me now as well. I feel like I have these strong protective instincts, and I just need to display that, and it's almost like automatic, and you can probably attest to that too.
Yeah, the I will say the most horrific thing, and like for me, my life sort of started when I had kids. Like up until that point, I literally could have died, and I wouldn't have cared. Like it wouldn't have been something that I was worried about. There's absolutely no fear, and it wasn't until I started dealing with the concept of life and eternal life and religion and all that sort of stuff, where I got to the point like, this is how it works. And now I'm actually really comfortable with the whole concept. But it was one of those things where I was, what's the word? I was searching for, all of a sudden I was searching for answers I'd never considered before. You know, back in the day, I wore a communist hat. Back in the day, I did all that stupid stuff. And then all of a sudden I started understanding that, like, first of all, for the people out there, children aren't for everyone. It's not something you should force people to do. Children are an amazing gift, but if it's not that time, or it's not happening, or you're not trying to, sometimes it's there's other ways about it, and there's other paths in life where you can do a lot more. The thing that I wanted to say is I see children very much almost like religion, and I count it like a force multiplier. So like for me, the worst day of my life before I had kids, like if I had a test coming up that I hadn't studied for, and I was sick, and my girlfriend left me, and my dog died, if all those things happened, and that was the worst possible thing that could happen to me. Now, that seems like a walk in the park compared to a child being sick and not knowing what to do. Because all of a sudden, it's not just you feeling like shit, you're like looking at something feeling so goddamn helpless you don't know what to do. But on the plus side of that, the less serious side, sorry, I know this isn't a dad cast, but it's one of those things that I'll take the opportunity to spread the knowledge.
Moving in a fluid sort of direction. It's good.
Yeah. Well, the on the plus side of that, a lot of people walk around and talk, and they don't think about it much, and they just do their job and they crack on. The first time you see your child walk, I can guarantee you it's better than graduating high school, it's better than graduating uni, it's better than getting a promotion, getting a blowjob, but anything like that, it is the best thing. When your child starts playing sports and they bounce their knee, and you know it's part of it, and you're like, every single thing you get to it kind of reminds you how amazing life is. I heard
a quote from somebody, sorry to interrupt, but I heard a quote from somebody. Yeah, I heard this thing that they said, when you have kids and you're watching them grow, it's like you're watching them live for the first time, but you are reliving through their eyes. So I remember the way that my son first reacted when he went on grass. I was like, I've walked on grass 1,000 times, and I've never stopped to notice it. But they kind of make you appreciate the little things as well.
Yeah.
Because he was just enamored by grass, and he'd pull it all apart, and he'd see what was underneath it. And he has the finest detail for just things that he can find, and they're things that I would just usually skip over. So they really open your eyes to things, and yeah, it's definitely life-changing.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And like, it's so true. And like, sometimes my kids say stuff and it just it rocks.
There are things that I can't watch in movies anymore, because I think about how that would impact me as a father, or me as or the child that is going through that hard thing. Like, I used to be able to watch anything and just take it in my stride.
No, that's one of those things. Like, as soon as the child's involved, we're turning it off.
Yeah.
Like Elise and I,
Aye.
same thing. Just like we're watching it, we're loving it, and then we're just like kid getting hurt, and you're just like, what was that? There was a show. What was it? Outlander. Is
Oh,
Outlander?
I haven't seen Outlander.
Okay, well, block your ears for a sec. So in Outlander, there's a massive, horrible rape scene, which is horrible. Later on, there's a kid that dies. That's when I turned it off. I don't know if he actually turned himself off then. I was joking.
I'm back. Did you kick me for a second?
No, I thought you left.
No, I did not leave.
I thought you left because I said turn your headphones off for a sec. And
No, I literally went like this, and then it just went and it broke.
I was like, I didn't know
that
you
was
could
good
do that.
timing.
That's great.
That was good timing. But
Yeah.
here we are.
But no, the so yeah, it's one of those things where it does change your whole outlook on life, and like, I'd experienced anger before, but kids will drive you up the wall, but they'll also make you happier than you've ever been. So it's one of those things.
Let's swing this sort of talk of fatherhood back into the direction of TTRPGs and stuff, because we were talking as well about how you can foster a good community, obviously, in your TTRPG space, but also
the godfather of D&D.
Yeah, I think that obviously, I don't know if you probably have, but mine are too young at the moment to play D&D with.
I have
your children, and so let's talk about how you can make a welcoming game for any fathers or mothers out there that want to introduce children to D&D, and then after that, let's chat about what people can look for, even if you have kids or you don't. Let's talk about what you might look for when you're actually trying to find a D&D community to play with, and what are some things you might want to look out for. So let's dive into that sort of area. So let's talk about first.
I will say thank you for keeping me on task, because I will drift with the wind, buddy. My mum.
That's good though. I like it.
Yeah. So, first part of that question was,
what advice would you give for mothers or fathers that are looking to introduce their children to Dungeons and Dragons?
This is a simple one.
TTRPG. Yep.
So the best way to do it is, like, for me, it was really easy because I was once or twice a week, I was going downstairs to play D&D. My kids obviously were like, oh, I wish I could play D&D, because they want to be part of what Dad's doing. And that, if we go play sports, they want to play sports. So talking about D&D in front of them, and TTRPGs and stuff, and games in front of them, does help them be able to understand the concept of you're going to do something fun, and the way you approach it is good. If you don't have that, then just playing a game with dolls and stuff, you can bring them to the idea of rolling dice. So you can roll dice, make decisions. The way I went about it was, as soon as they were both like, oh, what are you doing? What is D&D? I was like, let me show you. And we sat down at a table, and I sort of said, what's your favorite thing? And at the time, my daughter's favorite thing was Elsa.
Yep.
From Frozen, for those people that don't have kids. So let it go.
They would have heard that.
They would have heard that. And my son's with dinosaurs. So I sat down and I said, okay, you can play a ice sorceress princess, and you can play a druid. So you can turn into any dinosaur you want. And basically I just said, okay, your crown got taken by those people over there, and you're gonna have to go get them. But to do that, and basically I just made up a little character sheet. I got rid of everything.
Yep.
And basically
Can
it
be
was
daunting.
Yeah, I didn't want to put a character sheet in front of them. I just said, hey, listen, hold on to this. Like, you get this die and this die. When you want to do something magical or powerful, you roll this die, and that'll be like attacking, defending, all that stuff. And when you want to do something, where you think about things and see things and learn things, it'll be this die. So I just kept it to 2 dies, like brains and brawn, or magic, and then we walked down the jungle path, and then rolled some perception, didn't attack, And I was actually so blown away. Like, Logan was just straight away into like, I want to turn into a T-Rex and rip that guy's head off. But my daughter was like, she ran into the middle, and I said, "Oh no, watch out. Like, they're shooting an arrow at you. They're about to, they've just launched a giant arrow at you. They're about to hit you." And she's like, "Can I do it so when it hits me, it like, I shatter?
Oh,
And then behind me, you see that was like not me. It was like an ice sculpture."
that is good imagination.
She was like 6 years old at the time, and I was like,
there.
"My daughter just cast Ice Clone.
Yeah.
That's so goddamn cool." And yeah, it was unreal. And like, can I do this? And like, I kept it that they froze the bad guys, and like, when
Making it
Logan,
PG.
yeah, when Logan ate them as a dinosaur, he then pooed them out, and they were okay.
Yep.
And they were
Just
stuck in the
asleep.
poo, and so there was a whole heap of frozen people going, "Help, unfreeze us," and a whole heap of people covered in poo going, "Help, we're stuck in poo."
I don't know which bandit I'd rather be, to be honest.
I'd go with the frozen. It'd go numb,
yeah.
I reckon. Oh, actually, no, that's physical damage as well. That, like, in real life, that would suck, but in the game, I'd go frozen.
Oh, you know what? In the game, I'd probably go poo.
Yeah. It's funny.
Walk into a tavern and say, "I've been swallowed and eaten by a dinosaur, and I survived."
Hey, that's like The Witcher.
Yep.
In The Witcher, he does that, walks out.
Exactly.
But no, it's so basically making it something along the lines they're already interested in.
Yep.
One thing that I found really easy to do it the next times is I got my kids involved in the Kid Stories podcast, which is a ninja series about the Valleytown Ninjas done by Paul Bechamel or something.
We'll put the link in the show notes.
We'll put the link in the show notes. I'll send it to you. But very, very cool story, and it's basically the concept. So once they liked those characters, I could sort of play the game with them and even use some of the bad guys from his stories, and we just kept it simple. Other people, Luke did get his daughter straight into D&D, like with the character sheet. But Luke and I play very different D&D, so that makes a lot more sense for him because he's actually a lot more structured and reasonable.
Yeah. And that's the thing about D&D as well. It can be played lots of different ways and enjoyed lots of different ways. But I think to recap what you were saying, first of all, obviously, communication.
Yeah.
Talking to them about games. Second of all, you actually role-played playing D&D, like with the toys and the dice and things like that. So role-play is a big part of D&D, but you also role-played the role-playing game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then third, get rid of the nuts and bolts, keep the essentials, character sheets off limits for the first few things, and fourthly, obviously, just pique their interest with their interests.
Well-known stories. Stories are the key to everything in life. If you want to do marketing, if you want to do sales, if you want to get a kid to do the dishes, stories.
Yep.
It's why the Bible was effective. It's why Jordan Peterson's effective. It's why Valiant Odyssey Podcast is effective.
We're a narrative podcast. That's exactly right. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Hitting those 4 steps is a really good way to introduce your kids to some tabletop RPGs. And they might like it and they might not, but at least you tried. So yeah.
That's the dream.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's the best way to do it. What was the next part of that question? It was a 3-part question.
The second part was extending. Oh, it's all good. The second part was extending that onto a Dungeons and Dragons community. So if you're a player looking for somewhere to play, what are some of the things you should look for in a community? Because as we said, it can be very vulnerable. It can be a place where you are expressing different parts of your personality, whether you intend to or not. So what do you look for? And then also, what are some red flags? What are the D&D community red flags that tell you to swipe the other way?
Okay, so I think one of the first things you want to do is you want to realize what you want to play for. If you're the sort of player that just wants to have a close, intimate group and play with them, that's perfectly fine. And if you have people around your house, around your location, there's Adventure League. I actually, when I first started D&D, no one around me played, so I'd actually go to Adventure League, and I would look for the kids that were getting dropped off by their parents, and just left there, and they didn't talk to anyone. They just sat there quietly until the game started. Then they'd put their hand up and sit there quietly, and I'd grab those kids and put them in a game, and I'd run the DM, and then I'd try and make them into friends.
Yep.
And like, if they're nervous, I'd be like, "Oh, princess, please," and like really plumb up their character and try and get them involved in friendship groups, because I think in-person friends are really important. But failing that, going online and finding a community, I would say finding a like, you can go on the group search things like Roll20 and that have paid to play and that sort of thing. I honestly think the best way to go about it is to go on Twitch and search Aussie D&D TTRPG and watch a few and talk to people in chat. This is actually how I found out about Sven from Crit and Miss, and then
Same as me.
same as you. And that's actually how I found about Valiant Odyssey Podcast from Sven.
Mm-hmm.
He said that you do the podcast and you do a drawing thing on Twitch. So I actually signed into that and started chatting to you. And then I worked my way until I'm here. And I got behind the screen. I fucking played you like a fiddle. You fool.
It's all been for this.
You
It's all
fool.
been for this. Oh.
But no, so basically,
I've probably played more TTRPGs. Like, I've probably played more TTRPGs with you and that crew than anybody else now. So it worked.
we're drawn to each other, so it's all right.
That's true.
Yeah. But like, it's one of those things that talking to people in the chat about the game you're watching. So going to It's Fate's Grip podcast, Dreaded GM, Dead Aussie Gamer. He has an amazing podcast set in like modern times with like werebears and stuff as cops. It's honestly one of the best.
What's that one called? We'll put that in the show notes.
I believe it's called Eberron PD, but I'll find the exact name for it. But it's under Dead Aussie Gamer, and I'll send it through to you. It's really good, and they've got some really funny. Like, he does the GMing, and the people in it are just hilarious. So it's a full season of that, and it's basically buddy cop drama.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's like a lawful paladin, and it's so good. But yeah, so talking to people in the Twitches and actually say, hey, I've never played before. Where do you guys play? And just be open and honest about what you want to do. And most people will say, hey, I've got a Discord. Like, I know I've invited 20, 30 people to Sven's Discord at Crit and Miss. I've got an Among Mates Discord, but that was mainly for Among Us, so I don't really invite people there for D&D too often. But it's one of those things where you reach out, and then while you're in that community, you reach out again. So through Sven, I've played with you. I've played weekly with Mark. Mark actually did World Render today. Mark Hillman and Fizz, Elric, Jason, and those guys have been playing together for like a year and a half now, weekly. And I didn't know them a year and a half ago, sort of thing. Like, it's just randomly ended up joining in, which was, so I think as before, communicate your intent. Like, hey, I'm looking for a group. I'm Australian. I'm a good person. And like, one of the quickest way to get into a game is say, I've never played before. I love D&D. I've never known anyone that runs it. Do you know anyone? And like, I reckon 50% of the people I know would go, I'll run a game for you.
Oh, yeah. Heartbeat. Absolutely. I think you'd probably be flooded with requests to the point where you'd have to choose.
Yeah.
And that'd be the tricky part.
Your audio just went funny. Yeah, it might have switched to a different microphone. It sounds woody.
Oh, let's check this out.
We've got a thorny issue.
A thorny issue.
A thorny issue.
Right, hang on a sec.
You're right. You're right. I did have a thought though, because I just heard my dogs barking, and like, yeah, it's funny when somebody comes to the door and the dog like runs to the door, it's like, rah, 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 rah.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why do they always like run to the door? Like, it's almost never for them.
Oh, that's true.
It's crazy. Like, why would they go there? A little bit excitable.
Oh, so you think somebody's at your door?
No, it just reminded me of how many times that does happen when I stream during the day.
Oh, gotcha. I'm going to leave and then come back in. I'll be back.
All good. All right, now he's gone. I'm going to tell you guys dirty, dirty secrets. Are you ready for this? My penis was once in the Guinness World Book of Records, but the librarian saw me and told me to take it out. How's that? Is that good? Is that good? Is that good? Hey. So anyways, yeah, while he's gone, I was just, the other night, I was trying to organize I organized a foursome, which was good.
I'm back.
Yo, how you doing? I was
Pretty good,
just telling a story, man. The other night, I organized a foursome.
A foursome of D&D players?
No, foursome of sex. Hot, dirty sex. But we had 3 no-shows, but the rest of us still had a great time.
Boom. There
Hey!
That's the joke. You had me worried for a second there.
I don't know how long it's been since I dropped that one, but I like that one.
No, I've never heard it before, so it's been at least that long.
Yeah. One of the other ones I've been working on lately is I went golfing on the weekend, and I was sitting there and I was about to take my shot, and one of my mates saw me and goes, "Oi, Mod, what are you doing?" I'm about to take a shot. He's like, "You're at the women's tee." And I was like, "What?" And you know, in golf, there's the 2 tees. There's the tee, and then 10 meters past that, there's the women's tee.
Yeah, I always use that one. Just by the way.
Well, the sad thing was, I was on my 3rd shot.
That would also be me too, though. I'm rubbish at golf.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, the just quickly regarding D&D and communities, they can be so important. And I actually had a amazing breakthrough the other week. I was watching, I believe it was the DM's Lair, one of the YouTube channels, and they were talking about running when you run a game in a sandbox world. And they were talking about if you try and make the world too realistic, and you make it, because you know how in life shit always happens. Like, we were going to stream, and then my kids wouldn't go to bed, and we started like 45 minutes late because of my shit.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Which I apologize for. Like, everyone that's watching this on recording, I'm sorry I was late. It's my fault.
If you're watching this like 20 years from now, just know that on this date, Mod was late.
I was late. And on most days, Mod is late. But it's one of those things that I was a little bit... I sort of was watching this show, and they talked about how if you don't give direction, even though you make the world so realistic, because it's so realistic and it's hard to determine what the most important part of the storyline is, PCs will freeze.
Crippled paralysis,
Yeah, decision paralysis. They won't know what to do. And I flash back to halfway through a campaign. They started complaining, like, "Why won't you let us leave Nicodranus?" Because I'd made up. I started off. What is it? It's Explorer's Guide to Wildmount.
Yep.
So I started them. There's a level 1 mission in Nicodranus on an island, and it sinks, and there's some Sahagran or whatever the fish people are that attack you. So we started off with that, and then it just turned into this big bullshit. There was a death race involved where it was like pod racing, but everyone had like mechazords and like giant tanks and shit, and a puma, like people drifting and shit.
It's basically like the you know that scene when that's Morphin Time on Power Rangers?
Yes.
All their Zords come out of the...
Yes. That's what it was.
They're miraculously inside the Zords.
Well, that's exactly what it was. And there was like all it's Morphin Time. They're all doing stuff. And then there was a little goblin on a tricycle. And
perfect. Just running alongside the Zords.
Yeah.
That is great. That's
and his dream was to get past the first corner, because 17 of his siblings had competed every year. And every year they get crushed and killed before they get to the first corner.
Oh.
And
did he do it?
He ended up they used like magical powers and all sorts of stuff that you do in D&D to keep him alive. and he ended up like coming second after them. And you know, there was heat-seeking missiles and stuff involved, and lots of explosions, and a bridge that like collapsed behind them, like doing the whole sine wave thing. So it's like exploding, but they're sort of sliding down the bridge towards the finish line. So big epic things, and had all that stuff going on, and magic cards like Harry Potter, and they had something like 120 magic items and 60,000 gold. And they're like, why won't you ever let us leave Nicodranus? I was like, you've got a fucking flying car. Like, you got a flying car. You're level fucking 12. You like casting shit. You got guns. You got tanks.
You can go wherever you like.
You can go wherever you want. Just fucking leave. I've even given you quests out. And they're like, yeah, but every time we go to leave, you're like, oh, there's something weird about that bartender. And I'm like, that's because there's always shit going. I'm trying to impress to you that if you go that way, you will miss out on shit here. But they were seeing it like, oh, we'll just tidy up all these little side quests before we head off on the main quest.
Yeah, like completionists in a video game.
Exactly, that's how they played it.
They were marking off all the little dots on the mini-map.
Yeah, so we had a great time, but I fucking blew up as a DM, and I'm like, why aren't you people matching my energy?
Yeah.
But they were amazing. It literally was just like when they accused me of not letting them go, I was like, there is no, look, you know, it was like a magician. I was like, yeah, there are no walls here.
Like a mime.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. The mime stopped them. And I was blown up. So I had this realization that I actually gave them decision paralysis, and I kept hinting at all these subplots in the area that kept them there. So I called up one of my favorite players, and I'll be honest, Joey is my favorite player of all time. No, like I'm not being biased. It's just the amount of detail and love that goes into characters. Like, I received letters, I received instructions, like the backstory was like, it wasn't just, a lot of people when they do a backstory, they'll just give you a family tree and say, I have 37 brothers and sisters. Their names are Johnny, Timmy, Greggy, Tommy. And I'm like, I'm not putting that in your backstory.
Yeah. You'll see maybe one of those.
Yeah. Your favorite one, which is, and they're like, I love all of them equally. You're like, shut up.
Well, 37 of them die.
Yeah.
Which one's left?
Oh, that's brutal. I love that, actually. That's what.
There's been a hotel fire on the way to the family reunion.
Oh, no.
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 So, no, we can't.
Yeah, which one's your favorite? Little Timmy. Yeah, little Timmy died first, painfully.
Yeah.
Who was your least favorite? Yeah, they survived. But it was one of those things. So
that's the BB.
That's it. Well, funnily enough, little Timmy the Goblin, they adopted him and kept working with him to make him stronger. And eventually, he had an invisible friend that was with him the whole way through the campaign. And it turned out the invisible friend was a Fey warlock person that promised the world.
Actually, so good.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. And then he actually stole all the most amazing parts of that world out of that reality and took them into a new reality, all for children. And little Timmy and all the children in the town that were all from the orphanage that they'd built because they'd killed all the drug obsessed or druggo parents in a town, in a thing. And then at the end of that episode, when they got back, they're like, oh, I guess we can live in this drug den that we cleared out of all the druggos. And they just hear crying. And that was the end of the episode. There was hundreds of babies that they needed to care for. So very intense campaign. Lots of themes. I love dealing with themes and being a mad scientist to see what I can do to people. But I called up to apologize, and I said, Joey, listen, I apologize for this. I just wanted to make an apology. And this is going to be weird because basically Joey didn't used to be called Joey. Joey became Joey. And Joey sort of said to me, like, hey, you don't need to apologize. We had a great time. It was a really good campaign. Best campaign I've ever been in, which made me cry a fair bit. But then was like, actually, remember my character? And I was like, yes. And this comes back to what we were talking about before. I said, yes. And do you remember something special about my character that my character did? I'm like, my God, did you leave home and impress your parents and the parents of a loved one or something? And they were like, no, the other thing. I went, oh shit, sorry. And I was like, yeah. And then basically, like during the campaign, their character had transitioned and they'd done all this stuff. And then since the campaign, they've come out and they're now Joey. And
Oh wow,
Yeah, so I was like,
that's awesome.
yeah, it was so amazing, and I like
So they kind of like found their identity, I guess. Not fully, but like
not
in
fully,
part.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't take any credit for that, but to be any part of it where they felt safe enough to explore it was a
Mm.
huge thing for me. Like that honestly,
Yeah.
it meant the world. That first of all, that I was told as well, but it just absolutely gorgeous. Like wonderful person, best role. Like honestly, if they jumped online and started doing D&D, I honestly think they would jump very quickly up the thing. But I'd never push someone into that world. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I just thought it was very relevant with what we were talking about. The
No, I agree. It's good. Like again, with finding people's identity and expressing things that you feel safe to do so with. Let's look at that topic of safety, because you've been a part of lots of different communities, played lots of different D&D games. There are some things to look out for. Sometimes you can be in a game and you think it's okay, but it leads to some things that may impact you. So what are some things in your experience, like keeping it relatively, like we don't
PG.
want to, yeah, well, not PG, but just we don't want to
Yeah.
make people fear jumping into a community, but what should they look out for?
So, one thing I would caution against is jumping into communities and judging them instantly. While you need to be protective of yourself, you have to understand you will be dealing with people from all around the world, people from different cultures, and people that are more familiar with each other than with you. So
Mm,
they might be talking on a level of familiarity or have an in joke that you don't quite understand yet. And they might say something, and it might take you actually having to say, I find that offensive, or what was that?
yeah,
And they might say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's got to do with this character that I played. Like I've seen people get very upset before they find out it's not actually relevant to what they thought was
yeah,
being said.
mm,
So approaching something with an open mind is always best. Once you're there with an open mind, the thing I would watch out for is, and this goes for people building a community as well, is uh, con- communication and themes. So if you do have a history of certain things or a overpowering fear of certain things, I would probably bring that up at the start
yeah.
of a
Session zero.
session zero, and
Yeah,
say, listen, like if you came from a country that did have slavery and you suffered through that stuff, I would probably mention that.
yeah,
If you'd been in any kind of physical altercation that was very serious
mm,
in any manner, I'd probably mention that. And if you've got religious beliefs that are overpowering, I'd probably mention that as well, because it's one of those things that if someone's aware of it, they might make mistakes, but they're less likely to say something extremely offensive on purpose.
exactly. Yeah, and I think that communication is very important during a session zero. I forgot what it's called, but it's called like veils and threads and veils, or something like that. But it's a theme that goes through session.
Oh, hello. And he's back in three, two, one, go. Three, two, one, go. Hello. Three, two, one, go.
I am back. I'm
Yo.
here.
I love that the your picture actually has a thing that says actual quality may be better,
Oh yeah.
but I don't think we could improve on perfect. So
Ah, thanks,
hey,
man. That's so good. You always boost my confidence.
but no, the I think like the main thing to realize is if you're joining a community, most Discord communities, and we did say go through Discord, go through Twitch. Most Twitches and most Discords have a warning page when you join up and you have to sort of sign on. And most of them will say, hey, this is an inclusive environment. Actually, I've never seen a D&D site that doesn't say this. It's one of the safest places on earth, honestly. Um,
Mm,
this is an inclusive environment, no judgment, no racism, no sexism, no this, no that. Um, so if you go to a Discord that has that, I would probably feel fairly safe. I'd be fairly confident and talk to people. If you have an issue with something that's said, either if you're not very confident, feel free to like click on the person and click message and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I didn't want to say it publicly. I found what you said here a little bit offensive. If they say like F you back or something, I wouldn't just leave the community straight away. It could be like sometimes you do cut your losses and do that. Like, the world's full of amazing people, but there's also a few arseholes.
Yeah, there's some bums out there too.
Oh, sorry, yeah, there's some bums out there. But I would also probably DM the owner of the server and say, hey, here's a screenshot of that person saying this to me. I was offended by this. Give them the whole story. Don't give them half the story. Give them the whole story, even if you're a little bit in the wrong, and just let them know that one of their players or people said that, because it might actually help them to help that person. Because sometimes, and this is one thing I love about D&D, sometimes you can actually role play through those scenarios and help someone come to the light on some of those issues. So I had some friends that were very, let's say, anti, I won't even say the country, but anti certain country. So when I was playing D&D, I put them in the situation of that country, and they acted very similarly to. So it was a little bit of a psychological experiment. But the thing is, they came to the same conclusion as the people that they said they hated, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
Did you pull the curtain up from them?
Yeah.
Then did you do the?
Eventually, I didn't do it directly. I just said, hey, listen, I never thought about this, but I never realized, but that thing where those people were doing that was so similar to these people here. I never realized it, but I was talking to this person who knew the whole time, and they were saying this, and they went, yeah, like to me, like it's like dead on. And I'm like, is it like, I guess it is similar. And yeah, those people have sort of changed their whole outlook on that situation. And like, I wasn't looking to make them change, but the way they're speaking of it was a little bit less thoughtful than it could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. But the thing I will be aware of, will make people aware of, is D&D. I know this is going to be hard for you to chop down, so I do apologize for this.
No, it's all good.
But D&D, you can make it safe, but it will be boring. I actually think like dealing with scenarios in creative and interesting ways and philosophizing around them makes an interesting game and an interesting world. So I'll give you one little tidbit example of one that I did recently, and it was, they got to a world, it's a new frontier town, like Wild West style, so there's mines and stuff, and where the mine was, there was talk of zombies on the outside of town, and when they went out to examine it, the zombies were being used. So when the miners would go out and work until they died, the mining company would get a necromancer to come in, resurrect them so they could keep digging, and the mining company would keep paying their family. So the family would get an income.
That is a conundrum.
It is a conundrum, because they were like, necromancer evil. However,
paying the family, corporation that takes advantage of their dead workers that work them to death, evil, but using those funds to pay for the family that was left behind, charitable. What do you do?
What do you do? And it was one of those.
Because if you cut off sorry to cut you off.
You're right.
If you cut off the company, and you end that on a moral standpoint,
there's no income.
The family has no income, but they also have no loved one. They lose twice.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
The other one is a sorry, I'm just going to give you this one because I love this. This is one of my favorites. I haven't used this one yet, so if you use it first, you can claim it. I came up with this.
You can't see it on the podcast, but I'm licking a pen and putting it on my notebook.
I actually made this up I did a streaming game for what is it? There's one of the charity ones, but I played in Dreaded GM's game. Jasper's Game Day.
Jaspers.
And my artificer had got kicked out of in Baldur's Gate, how the big vines come over and close the area off.
The Enclave, yep.
Yeah, so I was in one of the enclaves and I got kicked out. They actually worked out a way to get me out and kick me out because I'd invented a streaming service. So basically, I went down to like the local water source and I was sending like illusions through it, like advertisements and
Yeah,
podcasts and stuff. It was like, I'd started my own podcast.
that is good.
Um,
And you
but
know what? That is also like streaming because it's in the
in the
stream.
stream, yeah. And
Yeah.
then, but it went too far because basically I was famous for making all these horrible spells. So, I made a potion so that elves that were married to humans could have the same age.
That's
But
yeah.
what it did was make the elves age like the humans.
Ah,
So
okay.
everyone was really
It
angry.
shortened the
It
lifespan.
shortened the lifespan. And then
Yep.
the streaming thing, the podcast, when I did it, it not only went out of the enclave and it led everyone to the enclave because they're trying to shut the thing up. It also went into every water source. So everyone that went to drink had like the thing playing. Every
Oh,
time water got separated, it would start playing the podcast again. Like you just refresh the browser.
every time you take a drink, it's like, do you have an itchy scalp?
Yes.
What?
So these sort of concepts are fun things to play with. Like, hey, it's cool, and then wait, that's really pervasive. That's going to ruin the whole world. So
Yep.
slavery, bad. Slavery to save lives and provide food and water and industry, bad.
Yeah, it's like that question mark that sort of makes your games a little bit sort of interesting and allows you to explore some things with your players, but also have them sort of think outside of the box as well in a situation you would absolutely not get in everyday life. So
Yeah,
I like it.
and being able to explore those things wouldn't be possible if you didn't allow slavery in your games.
Mm. Yep.
Also, racism is a great one to put someone in a world and then literally, like, whatever they play, let's say they play humans, they go into a town and everyone treats them like poo because they're humans.
Mm.
They get worse prices. So they'll be in line to go to the shop. So it's like, I'll be with you in a second. And then somebody else walks in. I'll be with you in a second. They just getting pushed to the back of the line. When they finally get there, they go to buy the same thing and they get charged 6 times more.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, get treated worse by the police and all this sort of stuff. And you could put that into a game, but then spin it and let's make a better world. And it's one of those things that you can, yeah.
No,
So
I
I would
like
be
that idea.
careful about avoiding things that make you uncomfortable if you have the capacity.
Yeah.
Is that a nice way to say
And
it?
yeah, I think so. And I think the thing to take note of there is also to go in with an exploratory sort of thought pattern, but also know that if it gets to you or if it gets to your mental health, then it is very much okay to withdraw and go and find something else. As you said earlier, like if you want to cut your losses and go away from that, that's fine
Yeah.
because it's worth more than its price of gold is finding a good D&D community because then you get to explore parts of yourself, all these different things, and you get to do so in a safe sort of manner, and you can create all kinds of different games and fun experiences that then feel like real life, or
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like real life to the point, but you have these memories just like you would have memories of someone that you grew up with. You have memories of playing around a table in an imaginary world with others as well.
Yeah.
So,
And one
yeah,
last thing I'd add on to that is when you do find a community, um, treat it like a new community and don't push it. Like a lot of people, when they build a community, they build crazy expectations for where they want to go with it and try and push it upwards to make. And like, I'm not saying don't follow your dreams and that. I'm saying
mm.
enjoy people for who they are,
I,
and
f- I feel like the growth will come as a result of
that's
you
it.
doing it in the right way. So if you're actually building the community to connect with people, to play games that are immersive but also respectful, and you've got a community of 30 people, that's still way better to me than having a community of 3,000 because you wanted to grow up on Twitch or have the biggest D&D community in Discord
Yeah,
because you lose that connection which made it great in the first place. So these are for listeners that are thinking of starting out one. It's definitely quality over quantity, and as you said, Mod, build it for the right reasons, but foster that sort of relationship that started the actual enjoyment in the first place.
And appreciate the time you get with your new friends, where you get to sit down for a few hours a week and learn about them, learn about how they see the world, and learn a little bit about yourself.
No, I love it. And I think we might end it there, Mod, if that's all good with you.
I'm going
I
to
think
say
we've-
one thing before we
Yeah, go
end,
for it.
because this will still be going the whole time. So, like, guys, go to Winter. I'm going to check this streaming site. 1 second.
Oh, is this AJ Winters?
AJ Winters. What is it called? Is
Yep.
it Winter's Tales?
Her streaming channel's called Winter's Tales. Yes.
Twitch. Yeah, so they're streaming every Sunday at 9 a.m., I believe, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And they are doing like a Bridgerton type thing, like a long form.
Yeah, I think it was advertised as Bridgerton crossed with the Hunger Games.
Yeah, it got epic. I was watching it the other day, and so I don't want to mess with it too much. But basically, in the third episode, it's been all drama up until that point, and then out of nowhere, shit got crazy. It was very similar to the first bit of the Hunger Games, where everyone's running for weapons and shit's going on, and then it ended, and I was just like, "This is good."
Yeah, and also if you can't watch it on Twitch because you're listening to this quite a while away, I believe it is also on YouTube on the same link, and we'll put that in the show notes below, because she's also another really great Australian content creator, has a great D&D community, and you should go and check that out as well. Good shout out, Mod. That was awesome. Anyone else you want to shout out before we leave, and where they can find them?
Yeah.
A
What
couple
I
people?
would say is Tuesdays, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Dreaded GM's channel on Twitch. That's Dreaded, as in like dread hair, and then ED or ED GM. He does something called a guild hug, where everyone sits around and they'll just talk about people and life and gaming and stuff. Very similar to what we just did, but open forum, open chat. And there's a lot of good feels there, and people talk about issues they've had. It's really good. So if you're having dramas, go there, have a chat. And apart from that, crit and miss.
Yep.
Sign in, do that stuff, because I won't advertise your stuff because it's on your channel. It's a little bit hypocritical.
No, that's all good.
But crit and miss is a great group of people. I've seen several games start off from there. Some people have split off and done their own channels as well. But you got Cyberpunk Red, you've got D&D, you've got all sorts of games being played, and yeah, it's a dream. So
good community in there too.
good community.
Nice people. Yep. Two of them are speaking to you right now. So if you come in and you see Modbrew or Valiant Odyssey or Aaron from Fandom Portals, make sure you definitely say hello.
Also, I do have one person to shout out to.
Absolutely.
So this is Clerical Error, or Stephen Garstone. I used to do podcasting and talking with him about League of Legends, but I see you've been posting a lot about Star Wars recently.
Yes.
Now, Stephen, a while back, actually offered to run a thing for me called, I think it's West End Games Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's like Star Wars, but I think it's like cinematics, and you don't roll and you do stuff. But I know you're into Star Wars, and he told me he's happy to run one of these games, like a one-shot for me. And I actually think I'm going to send him some links to your Fandom Portal stuff, because he knows a lot of shit about Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
So he could be a very good person to talk to. Very
I'd
talented
love
fella.
to have him on as a guest and just pick his brain, because
Yeah.
I've always loved Star Wars, but there is a lot that I do not know.
It's a beautiful story. And also, why else would Harry Potter have copied it if it wasn't a beautiful story?
Yeah. And on that mic drop, thank you so much, Modbrew. It has been an absolute pleasure. It's all good. I know that we talk all the time, but doing this formally, you might say, has been really, really special. So thank you for sharing your insights. Thank you for giving up your time. It's been amazing for me. And
Thanks for having me, man.
I
And
hope it was good for you too.
keep up the good work. And dads out there, me and Aaron do it. Like one of my favorite. This is my final joke. I did a Christmas special with Luke recently, and I said, mate, you've got a family, you got your wife, you got your daughter, but you managed to play D&D like 5 times a week. How do you do it? And he looked at me and went, neglect. Now, funny as shit, he's not neglectful at all. They're amazing, amazing family, beautiful people. But People, it is about balance. So there are times in your life you won't be able to play, and that's okay. Your friends will understand. If you're going through financial hardships or divorce or anything tough, be honest with your crew and just say, guys, I need some time off, and just take that time to heal, and then come back and work through the shit with your friends, playing D&D and killing some goddamn goblins.
Yeah, always remember you're doing it for fun and you're doing it for yourself, and look after your mental health and all of that. And D&D and community building and gaming can be really good for that. And take a step away if you need to. That's awesome advice, man. Way to leave it off. And that is it. Let's go back through the portal. Catch you guys. All right.
I'm doing my I believe this is the Hunger Games thing, isn't it?
I think so. No, wait, did they do this?
Oh, this. Damn it, I screwed it up. No,
It's
mine's
three.
better. Mine's better.
3 in the whistle.
Yeah, it is.
I like mine. Mine's better.
Oh no, nice, doing the pink one and the thing, maybe.
Yep, that's the way.
But no, dude,
Way
that
to
was
be.
awesome.
No, that was awesome. The video and audio has to upload.
That's right. I
So
can stay
we
here.
got to stay in here while it uploads. But yeah, I dropped out a few times there. Hopefully it'll be all right. But I think it stitched them all together.
Yeah, if not, you should be able to literally, like, if you
Take it
miss
from your stream
bits
or
of yourself and that, you can just download my stream, and chop the video, because I got most of the picture of it.
Yep. No, that'll work. Awesome.
But yeah, we might just be the Lurk Kings. Oh, goddamn. I was chatting to you and Fizz when we were talking about kids and stuff, and like
Yeah.
he wrote I got fear of the baby mamas, and like
Yeah,
we're
I
talking
see
about
that.
something serious, and I was like,
I can't.
I can't stop from laughing.
Yeah, you're like me. As soon as something happens, it triggers like a word association.
Yeah.
You gotta say it.
You got to say
That's how I learned voices. That's what I was saying before. That's how I learned voices. When something happens on the TV and I see it, I have to say it after. I have to, and that's how I did it. And just
See, I was actually talking to someone. They said my issue with I don't believe what they said, but they said my issue with accents might actually be extremely high EQ or IQ or something. Because when I went to Malaysia, I learned the language and was talking with a proper accent really quickly, like a couple weeks. So like when I'm gonna do, and like for instance, I'm doing Father O'Reilly on the Witchlight podcast.
Witchlight, yeah.
So it's a bard that somehow ended up being a cleric, because everyone just like they needed a cleric and they just thought he was a cleric.
They assume, and old people are wise.
So he was like a bard, but he's like, oh, fucking, I'll try and heal people.
Yep.
And do stuff, and he was lying to everyone and getting all the girls pregnant and stuff.
But that's the way. Good old Father O'Reilly.
Oh really, Father? Oh really? And I practiced for like hours, and I got this Irish. I was going for like an Irish father, and then I get in there and somebody talks to me, and they're like, and I'm like, and like just adapt to their accent. I'm like, God damn it, I can't.
That was hard for me when I first started too.
Oh, I just can't stay. And it's like somebody was like, maybe it's because you're adapting to the person you're talking to, because you're an effective communicator, so you instinctively take on their accent.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, or I'm just like a mirror with no depth.
That's all. I think it might be an ADHD thing as well. Not to like diagnose you or say what you have, but
No, I got ADHD like a motherfucker.
Yeah, same. But you know how like you probably do this too, but say if I'm talking to a friend from school, they see a different version of me than my friend at football.
Yes. Yeah,
so
chameleon.
Yes, exactly. So maybe when someone chats to you in that accent, you're just like finding the perfect mod to show them back. I don't know.
No. That my wife was blown away. Like when she first met me, she saw through me. But then when she met all my friends, she's like, do you realize that every single one of your friends thinks you're a different person?
Yeah, I feel that.
And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, in this group, you're like the loudest, funniest person. In this one, you're like a rough enforcer. In this one, you're the intellectual. Like, what the fuck? And I thought
that was actually normal. I thought it was adapting to your...
It's filling the gaps.
Yeah.
You're filling the social gap. It's what that group needs.
On a show, because that is awesome. Like this is a good topic.
It's a great topic.
Filling the gap is that can be what the show's called, filling the gap.
Filling the gap. Getting deep in that gap.
Yeah, that's right. You got to fill it because who will if you won't?
I will say I don't know if I'll be able to share it, but dude, I came up with an awesome idea for a YouTube video that'll be a sensation.
Oh yeah.
You want
What
to hear
is it? Whatever do you mean?
Okay. Beautiful. What it is
Whatever do you mean?
You know how we we're talking about doing like a podcast thingy?
Yeah.
So what I was thinking about was making my kids listen to go to sleep. They listen to this it's like yoga, relaxation,
ASMR.
ASMR, but it's like Santa's missing trousers.
Yes.
And it's like the calm voice and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to make that,
elves.
but for bad DMs, and like have it going. Oh,
Roll perception. It doesn't matter what you got. There's fucking nothing there.
no. Your players were wrong. Of course, it was normal to do this.
Yeah.
They just don't understand.
Mm.
You made the
It
right
wasn't
call.
A TPK.
Sure, they rolled a nat 20, but fuck them. You were right. You can't. And just like
I
all
know
the.
you fudged 17 dice rolls.
Yeah,
But
basically.
just tell a king.
my idea was basically go onto Reddit, go to like the worst DMs Reddit, but like find those posts where they're trying to justify themselves, and then get all those lines of like, they didn't understand what I was trying to do, and just talk to the fucking guy at the bar.
Yeah. Just sitting there pulling hair out.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, he's doing it again.
But like, yeah, no, they kept saying that it, all you do is combat. But hey, that's because they don't understand. That's all D&D is. Role playing's for nerds.
For a reason.
And yeah, and just like basically, it's like a calming tape for like the most angry DM ever. And then also doing a release of a one for bad players.
For bad players.
Players that ruin the game and.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of course, your character defeated a dragon in his backstory.
Don't worry about what they say. It's what your character would do.
Oh fuck yes,
There
dude!
it is.
The whole series could be called "It's What Your Character would do."
Yeah, it's what my character would do. I'm just playing my character. Well, your character is a prick.
Well, I did say it's when you're doing it, you are showing your true self.
Yep.
So
Or an aspect of it. I think I've talked to you about Key before, but Key is actually like the nicest dude in real life. Absolute gem. But Key is like a prick. Like the character.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, he does it well.
That's like, and because there might be a part of his personality that's like that. I've never seen it. So to me, it's like maybe he's exploring that because he isn't that. I don't know.
Maybe I saw a meme today and it was like I'm not being as big of an asshole as I could be right now, and I think people should be thankful.
Yeah, nobody's thanking me enough.
Nobody's thanking me for this. And I'm like, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. But no, it's one of those things where I think I did a session on Monday for Lancer.
Yep.
And
sick invite. Not gaming.
it was for the Army boys. Luke was away and they just finished their campaign. So I told them I'd run them like a little 0 and then like a 1-shot. So basically they're going straight into combat next week. But what they don't know, so they went through basic training and they failed out in session 0. So as they go to fly away in faster than light travel, they get put to sleep. And what's going to happen is when they wake up, they're all much buffer and everyone's addressing them as officers and that. And as they like walk towards their lancers and that, they've been given their mission. They walk towards their lancers. People they've never met before are going to be saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, "Oh, look who it is!
Hello,
wow,
sir. Hello,
yeah, hi sir. Oh, good to see you again, sir." And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, you've never been here. And what it's going to be is that when they went there, they got cloned
Oh.
and then buffed up into super soldiers. You know,
Yep.
basically their DNA messed with. And
Yeah.
so this is like the 4th time those guys have been sent on this mission. So they might find their own bodies.
Yeah, and then it's like rerun.
Yeah. So they're actually
Rerun,
going out
rerun,
to try and
rerun.
finish it. They're just being sent time after again to finish off
Yes.
this mission. So they might actually run into themselves.
Bro, that is awesome.
I like stories.
That reminds me of a book series that I think you would absolutely enjoy.
Mm.
It's D&D crossed with the military, and it's pretty much these guys
Let me write this
get
down.
sent. They get sent to the D&D-esque world, and they're basically an army company, and they have a machine that basically is like a taco machine. It provides them ammunition if they need ammunition and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they get plotted in this place, and they're fighting all these orcs, and they're basically trying to find a way to escape and survive. But by the end of the book, they kind of like it there, and they're planning takeover. So it's by Jason Enspach is the guy who wrote it, and there's heaps of them. But the first one is called Forgotten Ruin, and they've actually made a TTRPG about it. And the guy that does the Audible audiobook on it is a fucking wizard. Like the way that he reads the book was the way that it was supposed to be read to people, because the main character is just like this cynical, sarcastic dude, and he plays that perfectly. But the story itself, there's all these different officers and stuff, and they're in a D&D world just running guns. It's stupid and it's
That sounds
fun, and
amazing.
it's a really good book series. And they have like 2 or 3 different spin-offs as well, and he's just released a new one as well. So Forgotten Ruin. If you get into it, we'll talk about it on the podcast, because I'd fucking
hell
love
yeah.
to. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm in
So,
it
yeah.
already. The I got to give you some links. Hang on.
Okay. Oh yeah, send them through.
It was
Send them into our Discord.
Kid Stories Podcast. I think I've already sent you,
Yeah.
but I'll send it again.
Yeah, send it so it's all in one place, because I'll copy paste it onto my thing for show notes.
Where is it? Like Phil Bechtel. Oh, he's so good.
Would your friend Joey, would they mind if this gets released?
Oh yeah, no, they said they were cool, and also,
Just let me know. Like,
I'll message it. Like,
yeah,
I did
not gonna
actually,
release
I
for a
did actually.
while.
Oh no, we talked about it on stream last time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, I was about to, yeah, but amazing person, and like honestly, just the best. Like every character they've ever done has been just unreal.
Yeah,
Blows my mind.
that's so good. No, that was really good. The thing about like Riverside that I like is it has all our recordings here. It has stitched together all the times that I've dropped out, and it puts on chapters for you.
So
that's good.
No, here we go. Kid Stories. Share, copy, show link, and put it on Discord. But yeah, so there we go. Oh, legend. So it's Kid Stories, Battletoads. Oh, actually, guess what I'm doing soon?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I am doing a playthrough. I think on the 25th, is it? I might actually, if my wife's asleep, I might come down and actually start it. Day of the Tentacle.
Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah.
Is that it looks like a SpongeBob kind of animation?
Yes.
What is that?
Let me just.
Can I talk to you? Like, are you going to play it tonight?
Yeah.
If you do it, I'll stick around and chat to you while you do it.
Wicked. Hang on, let me just.
But if you, no pressure though. If you don't do it or you can't do
Oh,
it.
no. I'm just going to run upstairs, grab a beer, and if my wife's asleep, then I'll come back down and play. If my wife's asleep, then I'll have sex with her.
Oh, got
zing.
him.
Yeah, so it's basically it was the Day of the Tentacle game was released, I think, on the 25th of June,
Mm.
1993, and still to this
1993,
day,
really?
one of the best games I've ever played. So they did a reimagining or something. So it's basically the exact same game, just with better controls
Yep.
and better.
That's probably the one I've seen.
Yeah. So and it's
Mm.
so good and it's amazing, very funny, and they cover American history. You literally go into the house of the lady that was like knitting the first American flag, and you swap
Oh.
out the design for like a opened tentacle, and then
Oh, no.
your character that's cut off from you in the future can go and get the flagpole and take the flag and wear it as a disguise and walk among the tentacles after they take over the world. Um,
Oh, mate.
Very cool show. What was the other links I had to send you? I can't remember.
Winter's Tales, Sven's Discord. I can get that though. Dreaded was another one
Oh yeah, that's it.
for that community, and we dropped Fate script in there too. Maybe we'll put that in there.
Copy link address. Okay, Winter's Tales. Oh, that's what it was. Because Winter's Tale and Fate script. My wife just messaged me and said, my daughter just went to sleep.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she messaged you and said, "I heard what you said on stream, you prick."
Oh no, she'd never say that. Oh, she's actually got. How funny is this? My wife's actually got a podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is her podcast? I'm following it right now.
It's already better than mine. I've released a couple of podcasts and she's done better than all of them.
I'll get her on the show too.
Oh,
I'll get
dude.
you both on the show.
Oh no,
I'll be in the middle of the mod married sandwich.
Oh, dude, you don't want to do that. She's much funnier than me.
That's good. She can be funnier than me too.
Oh yeah, it's like when I first met her, it's called OT Unplugged. But when I first met her,
Oh, okay.
she went over, like, met all my army friends and was just tearing strips off them, just like a roast.
Atta girl.
Where is it? Eberron Chronicles. Maybe I can search Dead Aussie Gamer.
OT Unplugged Community of In Practice Insights.
That's the one.
Hey, there she is.
I know, right?
Wow. That's really good.
Punching way above my weight. There we go. Where is this? Eberron.
They have awesome ratings.
Dude, that's what I mean. Like, they literally just kicked off. They've only done like 10 episodes and it's already well better than mine.
Yeah, it's good.
And yeah, well, I think.
Does she do it with? There's 3 of them, so they're co-hosts and stuff.
Yeah, and they're awesome. Like they're great. They know what's going on.
How do they go about that with, like, obviously maintaining privacy and stuff? Such and such, or subject A, subject B, that kind of thing.
Oh no, yeah, they don't talk about clients like that, but they talk about like they went when the NDIS changed for all the OT stuff. They actually went through all the changes, how it's going to affect businesses. Like, my wife's a genius. She does business coaching and all sorts of stuff. So she, like, basically, when I worked in an engineering firm, I was a manager type person at the top, technical manager. I was a senior technical manager, so I was writing all the procedures and stuff. She
Just
came
to stop
in.
you right there. I couldn't think of a fucking worse job.
Oh,
for me.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh no, it was one of those jobs. The expression I used was the reason I left. Well, not the reason I left was because I wanted to work with kids because my wife inspired me. But one of the things I say when I'm joking is, hey, like, I was really fucking good at that job, But just because you're hung like a donkey doesn't mean you got to do porn.
True. That, bro, you have some of the nicest like witticisms and
I
stuff.
love that you said the nicest right after I talked about donkey dick.
Yeah, well, actually, that could have gone some of the, because I literally started it by saying, "Hey, bro, you've got the nicest."
Yeah.
It literally could have gone there.
I'm
Yep.
just going to chop it. Hey, guys, can we get
you
you to
could.
clip that and chop it so he compliments
Yeah,
my
but then
donkey
put
dick?
your voice saying donkey dick at the end.
Yeah,
so
that's
it sounds
true.
like,
That's true.
bro,
Oh, we
you
got
got
him
the
now.
nicest, and then mod. There it is.
He said it now. He said it now.
Now.
Where is this? Spotify Eberhard Chronicles. I found it. Spotify Eberhard. Oh, PDD.
Oh, that's the storytelling one, isn't it? You're like doing my show notes for me, bro. I love it.
Well, I got to help. I'm not a monster.
You're amazing. You're so good. Put that at the end of the donkey dick one.
Eberhard PD. I'm just gonna. Why is this? This has been a bitch. There we go. Apparently, someone's got an album, Eberhard PD, and it just kept coming up with the album. Okay, now I got it. It's such a close. That's probably why I could never find it when I want to. That stupid show. Okay, so I actually would advise you to watch this, to listen to this one. It is an audio podcast, and the way that it's just two people and the DM, and it's so simple. It's literally just like, you could do this with he did it with the Mercenaries of Mischief, but you could do this and just keep changing stories like Dimension 20, and people change characters, and that it's just so much fun. But yeah, it works out perfectly. I'm going to go grab a beer in that. I'm going to go to a short break and actually put on my thing.
Yeah.
By the way, just in case you know, I still streaming. I didn't stop streaming.
Nah, all good. Yeah,
all good.
No, I've got your stream up, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I just realized I didn't say that. We did say goodbye to people, and I just didn't hit end stream. I'm going to switch to the thing. I'm going to turn off my audio. I'm going to go get a beer, and I'll be back.
Is my audio will be off too, right?
Yeah. You're good
God,
to swear and do all that racist shit that you normally do.
Yep.
You put your hood back on, and I'm just kidding.
I wore a hood for a while. No, I know where you're going with this. I feel like I know exactly where your brain is. It was not a white pillowcase, I'll tell you that. Was that where you were, or did I just completely?
No, well, no, that's where I was going. Yeah. But I started laughing because I did a Norm Macdonald spree the other day. Sometimes I just miss Norm Macdonald's humor.
Yeah.
And so I was like watching all his old stuff, all his podcast stuff, and I was watching an episode of his podcast when Orange is the New Black came out, and he's like, "Yeah, Orange is the new black. That's what they say, but not on my street. The new black on my street's Dennis." And I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, that's good.
It's good, but I like it's one of those things that like you just don't see it coming.
It's funny. Yeah.
All right, well, I'll be back in a sec.
Out of the blue. All right, see you soon.
Bye. I'm Mod, the DM for Adventures in Arrowless, a D&D 5e podcast. Everyone you will hear on this podcast believes that everything they're doing is to help relieve a little of the darkness we have in these COVID times, but realistically, it's to peddle products like these. And now, a word from our sponsor. Are you a DM? Do your players sometimes get distracted? Well, do I have the product for you. Player Shock Collar. Amuse your friends, terrify your enemies. Start the campaign with a bang. This amazing product comes with 3 settings: Alert, Warning, and Divine Intervention. No one would dare check the footy scores at your table.
hurt. There's nothing you can do. And still it burns. I'll enter my grave singing, this is fine with me.
And time for the cowbell. Cowbell ready.
It'd be good if they came in and we were both just like stimming.
Whoa, that just happened, baby. Name is DJ and I'm the best. All the DJs want to feel my breast. Oh, boom. Loving it.
What's
Oh,
up?
I used to wish I could be a rap star. Then
That's
I
the
realized
best I could do.
you have to be talented. Ugh.
Well, what you got there, Mod?
So, I've got a beer. This is called a John Boston. It's made by the first brewer in Australia. I think that's a lie because I think that guy would be dead by now. But, so it's John Boston.
Jon Boston.
And it's a golden ale. And now this is why I bought it. So, I was about to say it's poor marketing and poor marketing choice, but I did buy it for this reason. So,
I guess it was good.
it's described as smooth and biscuity.
Oh. There's nothing like my drinks.
That's
I want my drinks to taste like a biscuit.
smooth. Like, to me, it's like smooth and biscuity. What they mean is malty. But by saying biscuity, I'm like, it's no longer smooth. It's now got chunks in it.
Yes. and
But then on the
crumbs
back, it's actually got like a scale.
of how biscuity it is.
It is.
So
And
we're talking like Monte Carlo. We're talking like
bitterness
Tim Tam, what do we
1,
got?
malt 2 out of 5. Color gold, taste smooth and biscuity.
Golden brown.
Ooh, golden brown, shimmer like silk. Oh god, I miss that shit. So, what I was going to show you was, how do I change the stream description? I feel like there's a thing here.
The screen. Yeah, there is. You can change the description. You've just lost our cameras.
Oh yeah. I minimized the thing because I was looking for.
Fair enough.
Oh wait, hang on. I saw a pen somewhere. Edit your stream title. Haha. Haha. Bedtime stories and D&D is what I called it. A Valiant Day of the Tentacle.
A valiant day, the tentacle. A valiant day. No. You should say a great day with Valiant's tentacle. No.
It's done now. Great day of Valiant's tentacle. You know what? I'm gonna even throw an apostrophe in there because I'm not a cretin. Bedtime stories and D&D. I'll leave that in.
Bedtime stories with D&D.
Oh, I did actually have something to show you before
Oh.
we get onto that, because I like to do a little bit of education for people on my stream, so that
Oh,
when
perfect.
people do tune in, they
I'm
can
a
like.
teacher. I love fucking education.
I
I'm not
exactly,
fucking
dude.
education,
We
but
didn't even talk
education.
about that. I'm so sorry. I was just talking about me.
We can- what do you mean? You mean we didn't talk about teaching or anything?
Oh well, you know, I love the fact that you're a teacher. Like, it's such an amazing thing. Like, I wish I dedicated myself. Like, I did training and assessment, and it's such a different world.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like, I'm gonna fucking teach you something. If you don't like it, you
Yeah.
can get the fuck out of my classroom.
No, you can't be like that when you're a teacher.
No, you
Definitely
can't. Although
move,
I will say the teachers I respected, the teachers that let me walk all over them, no respect. The teacher that I talk and he goes, mate, I'm talking, stop talking. And then
Okay,
I'd
sorry.
talk and he'd like throw a wooden eraser at my head and miss by like 0.5 millimeter because he was actually
yeah.
trying to get me. Oh yeah,
Those
instant respect.
Yeah, the ones that you're just like, oh, if I dob on you, you could lose your job. Mad respect.
Yeah. Exactly. Day of the Tentacle. Okay, update.
Where is the best place for this logo to go on my video? Put it up there.
Maximize that. Close that. Close that. Excellent. And then I'm going to go... I'll do my thing first. So, the thing I was going to educate you on.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll know this. This is going to be a close call for you. You might know this, you might not know this. This is a 1932 film, I believe.
Oh.
I think it's my 4th favorite movie of all time. This is, I'll go to YouTube. It's free on YouTube. So it's actually
Free
a really
on the
good
tube.
watch.
Yeah.
It's free on YouTube for everyone. It is called Duck Soup
Nah.
by the Marx Brothers.
Never
1933 film. Okay, I thought it was 1932.
Educate me, Morty.
So, this movie, let me see if I can find the full movie. Well, don't tell me they've made it not free anymore. Those bastards. No, this looks... No, Animal Crackers. Did they seriously make it not free anymore?
Maybe you had like a trial account.
I'm so blown away right now.
So blown.
Okay, so basically, I'll show you this
blown.
clip. This will do. So Groucho Marx is Rufus T. Firefly, and basically the whole country of Fredonia gets they run out of money, and they have to go to one lady and ask her for more money because she got more money than the whole country, and she says, "I'll give you the money if you make this man president."
Oh.
And yeah, he's amazing. So what I'm gonna do? Oh, what the? Oh, hello. Oh, I'll click that, baby. Yeah. If you want to create your waifu, play Lissa. That's Lyssa. And also, what's a BDSM? I love the sexy slither of a female snake.
Goes the weasel.
Ready?
Asking
I'm
too
scared.
much for our information, just for illustration.
Oh, you can't hear this, can you?
Nope.
So you intend to run.
Do you have my stream?
I do.
Okay. I'll wait till you have the stream up. Because I want you to...
Hang on. I'll mute my mic so it doesn't double play.
Okay. Okay, I'll hit play soon. Ready? You tell me when you can see the screen.
Go.
Okay.
The nation.
These are the laws of my administration. No one's allowed to smoke or tell a dirty joke, and whistling is forbidden. We're not allowed to tell a dirty joke. If chewing gum is chewed, the chewer is pursued, and in the hoosgow hidden. If we choose to chew, we'll be pursued. If any form of pleasure is exhibited, report to me and it will be prohibited. I'll put my foot down, so shall it be. This is the land of the free. The last man nearly ruined this place. He didn't know what to do with it. If you think this country's bad off now, just wait till I get through with it. The country's taxes must be fixed, and I know what to do with it. If you think you're paying too much now, just wait till I get through with it. I will not stand for anything that's crooked or unfair. I'm strictly on the up and up, so everyone beware. If anyone's caught taking graft, and I don't get my share, we stand 'em up against the wall and pop goes the weasel. So everyone beware, who's crooked or unfair. No one mistake a piece of crap, unless he gets his share.
My favorite
If any
bit.
man should come between a husband and his bride, we find out which one she prefers by letting her decide. If she prefers the other man, the husband steps outside. We stand 'em up against the wall and pop goes the weasel.
I love it so much. It's literally a whole film of just slapstick comedy.
That was good. My favorite part was the piccolo when he went and
Yeah.
yeah, and then he like that part about the bride was good too.
There's like really good like what's his name? There's really good one-liners along the lines of like Rodney Dangerfield, that sort of thing. Like this is where that humor sort of came from. So
Yep.
he does like, you know, like, what do you do this? We could tear you down and put up an office where you're standing. You know, like calls ladies fat in like the most amazing way. And then he says
Yep.
like the lines of him and all the other Marx brothers are just so fast and punchy. You just don't see it in this day and age for comedy. It's so well
No.
written.
They play it safe.
They play it safe and they play it fast as well. So they, like, this sort of comedy just doesn't exist anymore. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of comedy, and I know you're a big fan of
Yeah.
comedy.
I do love it.
Have you heard of Aaron Belial yet?
Aaron
Aaron Belial. It's
Belial. No.
okay. I'll just show you his name because I got to show you how it's spelt. All right. So Aaron Belial, he is a guy that was born with cerebral palsy, and the way he describes it is, he felt like he was going crazy because he had so much to say and no way to say it. And then they gave him a communication device, and now he does stand-up comedy, but he uses a phone.
Oh yes, I do know that guy.
Yes. So that's Aaron Belial, and this guy here, and he does this amazing, like, roast and that. But he does an amazing little speech to Kill Tony, or Tony Hinchcliffe from Kill Tony,
Yeah.
where he basically says, "Hey, you let me on your show," and basically he became viral. And it's changed his whole life. And he's like, now I've got a voice, and I found out my language wasn't English, it's comedy.
Ah, yeah.
It's this huge thing. And he's like, do you know Shane Gillis, the comedian?
Yes.
He
he's
said,
good too.
you probably saw this clip. He said to Shane, he said, listen, Shane, you were my favorite comic, and you were my inspiration until I found out you weren't actually retarded.
Oh yes.
You just look that way.
Yes.
Absolute devastating burn. So good.
That's so good.
But yeah, so I always like to do a little thing. Usually it's a Twitch stream or something, but Duck Soup and Aaron Belial can't recommend enough. So did you ever play Day of the Tentacle when you were younger?
No, I never did. I always looked at the packet and I was like,
It,
what is this? Because I thought it was SpongeBob.
okay,
I'm about to be very wrong, aren't I?
well, it's honestly, it's not far off. I'm just gonna make sure my stream can actually see it.
Alright, hang on. Where is the Twitch? Oh yeah, I can see the tentacle.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Can't even see the. Can't see my mouse.
Sorry, I just had my ad playing while you were talking.
You're right. It's such a good... Oh, what's going on with here? Hang on a sec.
I'm thirsty.
I see like milk going into a stream.
I don't think you should drink that. It looks bad for you.
Nonsense. It makes me feel great. Smarter.
Why is my
more
camera
aggressive.
frozen?
I feel like I could. Like I could. Like I could.
Yo. Oh, hang on. I realized I could probably just share my screen.
Take all the world.
With me?
Yeah.
There's a screen share there. I can see it on the stream though.
Yeah, but...
Look, Hoagie, it's a hamster. Just what I need for dissection lab tomorrow.
I think I need that for the band, Laverne. You know, like we could bite its head off or whatever.
Hands off that hamster.
Friend of yours, Bernard?
He belongs to Weird Ed Edison, and it looks like he's brought us a note. It's from my old friend, Green Tentacle. He says that Purple Tentacle's mutated into an insane genius, and Dr. Fred's going to kill them both.
Oh, it's so good.
I thought I was free of Dr. Fred and those crazy Edisons forever. But now, I know that I must go
Oh,
back to the mansion.
so just so you know, this game, this is like a throwback because this is kind of like a sequel to the first game that these people made called like Halloween Mansion or something,
Yeah.
which was like a funny thing as well, but it was like you had to deal with this family and like sneak around their house. But it was one of those games where you had to type like open door.
Oh yeah, like a text-based adventure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So while that's all playing, it's just clips. I'm gonna try and fix up my stream stuff a bit because I don't know what's going on with that. Okay, so I'm gonna go cam. Val. I know what you're thinking. This guy's a professional. I can't help it.
Okay, we'll spread out
You'd be right
commando
into the
style.
trollolol vibe.
Laverne, you go secure the area behind those double doors. Hoagie, you take care of upstairs reconnaissance. I'll maintain Command HQ here, in the lobby.
What are we looking for?
We've
What are you
got
doing?
to find where Dr.
Me.
Fred is holding
Not
the
me.
tentacles.
This better not take too long. I've got an anatomy final tomorrow.
And I've got a show to set up later tonight. If I'm late, I don't get to test the drums.
If I know Dr. Fred, he's got the tentacles tied up in his secret lab. Question is, where's his secret lab?
We'll go find out where his secret lab is in a second.
Oh yeah. Let's have a look. I can see your Riverside screen. Is that what you're meant to be sharing?
I'm currently trying to this will work. I know what you're thinking, like, this guy, old dog, new tricks, he just knows stuff. And you're right, he does. Look, pixel face. I don't know why that's so small, but I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't even care. You know what?
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna do this the proper way. Ready? Valiant. I'm gonna go recording. Zowie. Done.
Well, we're seeing the back end. We're seeing Mod's back end. I'm excited.
That's what everyone wants to see. And then last bit is just this bit here. And then I'll just go. How do I capture that bit there? I can see you. Why can't I see me? We got this. We got this. That won't work. Okay, I need to bring that up. I'll put that over here for now. I'm learning stuff. Window capture. Sorry about all this.
No, you're right, man.
I'm
doing my stuff in the background, so I'm watching you at the same time.
Oh, good man. Okay. Perfect. Making myself tiny man.
Making myself downtown. Sorry.
Great song.
Word association. I did it again. I feel exposed now that I've told you my secret.
Here we go. Ready?
Now you'll know why I say stuff all the time.
Perfect. So walk to confirm. We've got all the buttons.
There it is.
Yo.
There's your controllers.
Gum with dime stuck in it. Pick it up.
It's
that dime's
stuck
important.
To the floor.
Stuck to the floor. Okay.
Man, I gotta get some in-ear
Laverne's covering that territory.
earphones. These over ears are just like,
Oh, they do help a lot.
yeah, they're I feel the pressure over my ears a lot. But I also kind of like feeling like I'm enclosed in a little space, noise cancelling and whatnot.
It helps when there's stuff in the background.
Yeah, yep.
But I've always found that
Hoagie's got that part of the house.
I think is in here.
Aha!
Ah!
Message.
There
This
it
is all
is.
too easy.
Grandfather's clock. This reminds me of the Monkey Island games.
Yes, Secret of Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Laverne, how'd
So
you get
good.
upstairs?
Am I upstairs?
Oh, the fade outs.
I got
Oh,
Square
dude.
fade outs.
Yeah.
Seen any tentacles?
Dude,
You know, I
What's a
noticed that Star Wars
tentacle?
actually does like shaped fade outs in their movies too, and they're just random. One will be a circle, one will be a square.
yeah, they like when they're changing from like Naboo to somewhere, they're like,
Yeah,
I could never understand why they did that.
it's such a cheesy fade out
Good
too.
thing you told
know what
us
I mean?
that.
Yeah, Bernard
Well-
wanted us to set them free.
I personally think that the reason they continued it is because they had it in the first films.
Yes. Oh yeah, like carrying it over.
Yeah,
For
Okay,
sure.
you're free
Absolutely.
to go.
I'm doing a D&D
Thanks,
one shot
Bernard.
right now.
Yes, thank you,
Are you talking to me?
naive
Are you talking to them?
human. Now I can finish
You're unleashing the
taking over
tentacle.
the world.
Ugh. No, I was just doing a quick shot.
Wait!
Oh, the one shot.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot.
Now I remember. He's incredibly evil, isn't he?
Some Highland
I'll
Black,
try to talk him out of it.
Highland Black.
bit of Scotch.
I think like liqueurs now in my old age.
Well,
To shoot.
what possible harm could one insane mutant
I think I've just got to the
tentacle
point where they don't bother me that much. They
Dr. Fred.
What have you done this time?
like I just
you
have like
meddling milk
maybe
head?
2 shots a week.
Now, Purple
at a time where
Tentacle
I'm
is
having
free
fun.
to use his evil mutant powers
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take
So
over
that's
the
like,
world and enslave all
That
humanity.
is like a couple
Whoops.
months.
Our
I don't really
only
drink.
hope now is to turn off my sludge-o-magic machine and prevent the
No,
Actually,
mutants
I've been
from
going
entering the river.
vegetarian
Isn't it a little
recently.
late for that, Doctor?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Of
How
course, that's
is that
why
like
I
a
have to
moral?
do it.
Oh
Going ahead
no,
animals
like,
thing, or like
you
a
know,
health
like
thing?
I've stopped eating
Through
all
the time
all
machine.
meats except for like chicken, beef.
This is all your
Pork.
fault, Bernard.
Have you ever had raw
Behold,
game?
children, the
No.
Like
chronogen.
actual like you
Dog,
just
can't
like
you
you're
just
actually
send
biting the
Bernard?
animal and it's
No,
still
you
alive
must all
and
go
kicking,
to increase
and
the
No.
like
odds
as
that
you
one
bite
of
into it and
will
the
make
blood's
it
coming out, it's
alive.
death.
Have any
It's death
people
growls
ever
are
been
like
hurt in this
making
thing?
you hungry.
Of course not.
Well, that's the sort of
This is the
vegetarian I've
first
been.
time I've ever tried it
Oh.
on people.
That's not a vegetarian at all. In fact,
But no, the vegetarian thing's weird. I think one of the funniest things I've ever seen was I went
Well,
out to
I'll
dinner
be.
with my wife and my good friend Lani and Shawnee. We went out to dinner and they're both
Float over here
vegetarians.
so I can punch
Yeah, yeah.
you.
And they ordered
This
the
must be that Woodstock place
mushroom
Mom and
because
Dad
we went to
are
a schnitzel
always
joint because they
talking
had a
about.
really amazing mushroom schnitzel.
Yep.
What could it all mean?
So they both ordered that,
I don't
and they came
know.
back and said,
I
"Listen,
don't
we're so
wanna
sorry,
know."
but the field mushroom schnitzel, we've only got one left." And then one of them said, "Oh, that's okay. I'll have the fish."
We may not live to see yesterday.
And the
I'm
other one
sure
was like,
Dr. Fred wouldn't
"Fucking
have done
what?
this if it weren't safe.
I thought you said you're a vegetarian." She goes, "Yeah, I just
After
don't eat
all,
meat. I
he
eat fish."
is a doctor.
And you've
That's
never
like
seen someone get
pescatarian
angry
or
at.
something.
Yeah, that's a pescat.
can't
She's like,
believe
"You're a
it."
pescatarian." She goes, "No, I'm
Yeah.
vegetarian."
They said imitation
Fish isn't
diamond
meat.
wasn't good enough.
And I was like,
fish have feelings too.
"Ah,
Uh-oh.
I'm so
Damn it.
lost." Such a cool game.
Oh man, what are you shooting through the air, Thien?
So basically, we'll go. The tentacles use the time machine to travel back and change the future, the past, and the future and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we had to stop them. So we sent them. We were sending our people to the past, but the diamond they were using broke, and they all ended up in different timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to use all three of them to
Mail order
manipulate the
What
timelines
happened to Hoagie and Laverne?
to get back.
I knew I should have bought a real diamond.
Are they alive?
My dials say that the largest specimen
So-
landed
Like,
200
Avengers
years
Endgame
in the
kind of
past,
timey
and the
wimey,
other is stuck
wheelie wheelie.
200 years in the future.
Well, hurry up and bring
Oh,
them back.
speaking of timey-wimey,
I will.
Um,
as soon as
what are
I
you
get
up to
a
in
new
Doctor Who?
Diamond, then all your
Uh,
buddies have to do
I haven't-
is plug in
is
their
episode 8 yet
respective
out yet?
chronojons and
oh, you're
plug
right up
them
to the new ones.
in
Where
Yeah.
is Hoagie going to find an electrical
Have you finished all the old ones, or did you
200
just start this
years
season?
in the past?
I watched all
Yes, well,
of
Matt
he'll
Smith?
be
Eccleston,
needing my
all of
patented super
Tennant.
battery then,
I
won't
watched
he?
some of Matt
Now,
Smith.
where did I put those patented
and then I
super
stopped,
battery
and then I jumped
plans
onto
of
You
mine?
missed out on the best
Plans?
one.
How are we going to get Hoagie
who Matt
plans?
Smith.
Peter
Don't
Capaldi.
worry me with
Capaldi.
details,
Everyone
boy.
says that he's
Just
the,
help me find the plans. They're
he's the
in this
traumatized
house
doctor.
somewhere.
Now
So
what am I going
he's
to do?
trying to struggle with actually.
I think I made
had a bad
myself
regeneration or
perfectly
something?
Clear.
Oh.
Step 1. Find plans.
In
Step
the
2,
end, he
save
works out
world.
that the reason
Step 3.
he chose the
Get
face he
out of
chose,
my house. Let's
it was for a
get
purpose. So
cracking.
in the, I think it was in the Matt Smith one.
Mm,
No, sorry, it was in the David Tennant. What's his-
Tennant.
Tennant. In the Pompeii one,
Yep.
he saves a family.
Oh wait, yeah, he does play in.
He plays the head of the family
Capaldi is in it already. Yeah.
in the Pompeii one, and then later on, that concept of why he chose that face comes back up,
Ah.
and there's just so many good episodes where it's like, I think it's the most existential series. So all the other ones are about friendship, or about, you know, never giving up on humans and how people are good in the end and all that stuff, and like having hope and fighting statue things.
Yep. Yep.
But his one, there's a lot of existential things. So there's one episode I love, where he gets trapped in a time labyrinth,
Mm.
and he tells this story. So there's like a wall of diamond. No, it's not diamond. It's something 1,000 times harder than diamond, and it's like 10 meters thick. I could tell from the vibrations.
Yeah.
And basically, every time something happens, like, I won't go into it, but he regenerates, and he's stuck in this thing, and he's like, I want to tell you a story. A king once asked a farm boy, how long is infinity or something? And he said, every year a crow flies to a mountain of diamond and pecks the thing. And if the crow did that, like, that's how long infinity. It's this amazing story. And he tells this story, and he goes like, you know why? Because I'm the doctor. And yeah, I know that I've only been here for this long, blah, blah, blah. And he's like worked it all out, and he turns, and there's like a diamond wall, like Byzantium or something, 10 times harder than diamond. And he just punches as hard as he can, and he's like, ah! And he punches again, and he punches again, and then he like ends up collapsing. And then it shows him, and he goes, I look, and it cuts to the same scene, and he goes, I look at the stars, and they're wrong. I've been here for 200 years. And then it shows him punching again. He goes, 800 years, punching again. 1 million years, punching again. And you can see the thing starts to actually get damaged.
Yeah.
And it's so emotional. It's like, oh my God. I won't tell you what happens. But then, so amazing thing like that. But then, like a couple episodes later, he's just sitting playing electric guitar in his little phone box, and goes, why is it that when we talk to ourselves, we talk aloud? Is it because it's the only way we can think? Or is it because we know that somebody can hear us? And he starts talking about like the shadow that follows everyone throughout their life, and what happens when everyone's gone and the shadow's feared, not being seen. And he's like, in nature there's perfect hunters and perfect killers, but there's no such thing as a perfect hider, or is there? And if there was, how would we ever know? And what would it do if we found it? And like the whole episode is about going to the end of everything to find out what's there. And it's freaky. It's really good. But yeah, so
The
basically,
creators of that show just have imagination on tap.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I honestly, if you're going to run a D&D game, you can pretty much go to any basic Doctor Who episode and just copy paste onto a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically this game is it's like a puzzle game. They have to work through the different time zones. So basically for this bit, I've got to go upstairs. I've got to find a hamster that's in actually, I'll show you. So see the hamster wheel there?
Yeah.
Then I got to go up here. I got to go.
Yoo-hoo. Dr. Fred?
Dr. Fred.
Let's see if it's over here. No, Icebox must be upstairs. It's been a while since I saw this game. It's been 10 years, 20 years. Oh my god, I'm old.
The plans!
Yeah, you know what I figured out the other day? Like, Shrek is ancient.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I couldn't
darn
believe it.
cold.
Yeah, like...
No way. There's
More
things in
years
there
have
that look like
passed
they've
that
been there
Shrek
for
has been
years.
in my life than
Doesn't
years that
anyone
it
ever
has not.
clean this thing?
I actually, like... I thought it was in there. But yeah, so there's a scene, you know Ice Age?
Yes.
There's a scene in Ice Age where... So I've got to get the hamster out of the freezer box. I've got to put it in the dryer to dry it, but then it fluffs up. Then you got to comb it down, and then you got to put that jumper in. You got to give that jumper to the past with a giant pile of coins, and then the person in the past, like 100 years in the past, puts that jumper in with the coins, and by the time it gets back to this time zone, it finishes the drying cycle, and the jumper's like this big, and then you put it on the hamster, and the hamster.
How do people logically figure out what to do in that game?
It took several months, and usually a lot of people playing it and talking, but like, I don't know if you might be too young for this, but there was a time in these games where people had to go and buy like a magazine that had like a how-to guide. Like you'd buy a walkthrough of a game like this.
Oh yeah, I used to. The first game I ever bought a walkthrough for was Kingdom Hearts.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That I've heard good things about that. I've heard
play
really
Kingdom
good things
Hearts?
about that game.
Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts?
I've never played it. This comes back to the whole won't play anything unless it's like when Among Us came out. That was the perfect game for me.
Yeah.
Because the whole I would love to run a Crit and Miss or a Valiant Odyssey Among Us tournament. Like actually play it a night, like 3 hours of it, count the wins. Like you don't even have to count the wins, but it's so much fun.
I would like to play it too. Every time I've gone to play Among Us, it's glitched out on me. So I tried the Goose Duck one.
Yeah. That's fun.
Same again. Like I couldn't really connect to a game, and I've never had good experience with it. But I'll play with it. Play you on it one time if you want.
Okay, we'll set that up. I'll find out when I've got a holiday. Like the holidays are coming up, and usually my family goes somewhere, and I don't have any annual leave, so I'll get stuck at home.
Yeah.
So one of those days I'll be able to run it. I'll just quickly bring up. Where is this? Okay, I'll show you this. Just in case you ever get stuck playing it without me. Among Us mods. Where is it? Extreme Rolls, Replay Mod, Love Couple Mod, Better Polis, that was fun. So basically, Mod Manager, you need one of those. So basically, on GitHub, there's a whole heap of mods that give you extra class roles. So more game mode. So there's like hide and seek, and a new role dictator where you can basically just overrule people with more votes. But it's really, really fun. So we played it. We used to play it and would have like every single person in the lobby, except for like one person, had a unique role.
Yeah.
And so you'd be guessing, okay, that's the arsonist, that's the sheriff, that's the person.
It's kind of like, you would have played Werewolf.
Yes.
It's like online version of that.
And
then you introduce like the witch or the town idiot or something like that.
Yeah, the jester. So sorry, I got to bring this up. So, Stephen Garstone, the guy at Clerical Error, the guy I was telling you about that knows Star Wars, we used to play Blood on the Clock Tower, which is a free game that is very much like Werewolf. And it's got a website like this, Blood on the Clock Tower. And you'd sign in. And basically you'd... Oh, where is it? Where's the online one? Buy game, resources. Yeah, but you can log in somewhere here. I forget where it is. And you can literally play all the different roles. And it's a GM mode where you actually assign who's what and where they are at the table.
That's really cool.
And it does all the... Yeah.
Like the art's really nice on it too.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's such a fun game. So Stephen Garstone, I played that with him and all his friends as well. That was cool. And then I played Among Us with him as well. So very knowledgeable bloke, and he knows all these games off by heart. But yeah, what was I going to show you? Oh yeah. So when I was playing it, let's see if I can find it.
Can you give me can you give me his
Yeah, man. Oh well, I was actually going to talk to him tonight, and then I got like delayed. So I messaged him and said, "Hey man, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm starting Valiant an hour and a bit late, so I'm also I couldn't make him stay up to midnight waiting. So where is it?
Yeah, just tell him to reach out to my fandom stuff, and I'll talk to him.
Yeah, but I'll send you his Discord or something.
Yep.
It's Clerical Error. Invite to server. Valiant Odyssey Network. That should work. So here we go. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
You got button Barry, it'll call a meeting and we'll be sweet.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Oh my god, that actually works. I feel like...
Okay, everyone click randomly and see. So basically we had a game that bugged out. And somebody had button Barry, which is one of the roles where you could click a button and it would call a meeting from wherever you are. You didn't have to be at the meeting table.
Yeah,
if we could vote someone out.
Oh yeah.
But don't stay near the top. So I told everyone to just randomly vote.
Yeah, top left.
Top left.
Top left.
Top left.
And that's everyone voting.
I think I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't click anymore. It'd be so funny if we actually voted someone out and just come. Hey guys, we're gonna try. No one leave the meeting room. Has everyone clicked?
I can't see it. It's just black for me. Oh, there it is.
That's me! So I got thrown out. So there was a role called Executioner where he basically had to get someone to get voted out. And if they get voted out, he wins. So it's kind of like there's someone that's the jester and they want to get voted out.
Yep.
And
So
if they get voted out, they
can.
win. Execution is kind of like that, but somebody else out. So you're always trying to make that guy seem guilty.
Yeah.
So we all randomly clicked and it went that. So like we played non-stop Among Us. So yeah, it's definitely worth a bloody a couple games on the old network. But we'd need to get a group of like 10 at least to make it good.
We could do that.
We could definitely do that. Okay, I'll start putting some dates together. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, baby. Let's do it.
All right. Well, honestly, I just want to ask you a couple questions. Then I might sign off, and because I think, like, I'll do this little scene with the car thief.
Oh, the car thief.
So I just went into a guy's hotel room, closed the door, got the keys off the back of the door, and I'm pretty sure they're for this car.
That looks like a great big pile of shit, to quote Jeff Goldblum.
Don't sneak up on me like that.
So this is very Monkey Island. What are you up to?
Yeah.
What are you up to?
What are you up to?
I locked my keys in the car.
Nice crowbar.
Nice crowbar.
Thanks. Don't even think about asking to use it. I need it.
Oh, he needs it.
Here, perhaps these are your keys.
Where? Gimme.
Are you giving him the keys, Mod?
Hey, thanks, pal.
You did.
Keep the crowbar.
Yeah, I got a
Thank you,
crowbar.
Masked Man.
Maybe this one.
Oh, you
must
traded
be
him.
one of
Yeah.
these.
I got a crowbar.
See,
but
that's not the likely option. You'd go there, like me as a gamer, I'd go there and I would try to stop him from stealing the car. It's that whole give everyone a mini quest and they'll take it every single time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, hang on. Give gun with dime stuck in it. No. Where's use? Use.
It's stuck to the floor.
How do I do?
Use a crowbar on the doors.
Yeah. How do I?
Do you have to walk close to the door?
How do I use an item? Push gum. Oh, inventory. Here we go. Use crowbar. This is why I love this game. Use a crowbar to get the gum off the floor. But then,
Oh yeah.
are you ready for this?
Yes. The dime.
To get the dime out.
The gum. You have to chew the gum off it. What the fuck? Now you can use the phone? No? Yeah, I'll try to use the phone.
I got a coin out of the phone. This is like this is all sort of coming back to me a bit by bit, but I wanted to play this. Is this the room with it? So I think I can use the quarters.
Oh, you jiggled him off the bed.
Ew, it's soaking
And you got the
wet.
sweater.
So I gotta dry it now. Oh, there's a camera. I saw that.
Put it in the icebox.
Let's see if this is the one.
It's useless. No one will ever be interested in my design. So I'm ending my novelty inventing career
love
right
this so
here
much.
in this tacky motel. How
He's ending his life.
appropriate.
Oh my god, he's got a gun and everything. How appropriate. Bang. Oh no.
I can't even do this.
Oh, that's so sad.
I love that even this hotel room has dogs playing poker on the wall.
Yes. It's the little things, right?
Oh, 100%.
I think this is the one because you're gonna get the.
Green,
Bernard!
what are you doing up here?
You're gonna get the
I
vomit
couldn't
off the
stop
roof
Purple, and he's gonna
in
go
the
out and conquer the world, and I'm afraid
lobby.
of what he'll do if he catches
As you
me.
do.
If Dr. Fred doesn't find me first.
which makes so much sense, of course.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Hey,
What's up, Bernard?
I'll just do
see
this.
you later.
Yeah! Good luck in saving the world, B-Man.
Thanks, Green.
Wow, this is loud. Whew.
Almost came down. This one, I actually remember this because this took me like 3 weeks to figure out. Took me so long to figure that out.
Wow,
Which part was that?
this is loud.
You put, oh, you got to
it in.
push the speaker over, so
The speaker.
because I turned it on
And then it
before and it
drops
came halfway down.
Yep.
god, it's such a good game.
Whew.
But yeah, so I'm gonna play this on the 25th and try and finish it in one day.
Now,
Yeah.
where did
But
Dr. Fred go?
I strongly feel like I'm gonna need to go online and find out the
Have the walkthrough open or something.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
aren't
look how
you
much of a
here,
dick you can
Ed
be, ready?
Edison, the paramilitary nut?
Why, yes, Hey, do
Hey, wait, go back.
I know you?
Yeah, I'm Bernard Bernoulli. I broke into your house 5 years
Yeah.
ago, kidnapped your hamster, broke into your piggy bank.
No, doesn't ring a bell, but I can't remember much about that period anyway. My psychotherapist thinks something traumatic happened to me back then.
My
that I'm
psychotherapist thinks something
blocking out.
traumatic happened to me back then.
So what are you up to these days?
Don't worry about me. I'm much better now. I don't have those bad thoughts anymore. Now I collect stamps.
Okay, I think.
Well, hope I didn't get you too excited.
Okay,
Bye.
I just want to do this little bit.
Peace
Hopefully
be
it
with
works.
you.
But you can be such a dick in this game. Invisible ink.
No.
Hey, want to see a neat trick?
Sure.
Neat, huh?
My Pony Express stamp. You ruined my Pony Express stamp. Not to mention 5 years of therapy. Get out of my room.
Get out of my room.
Jeez, what
It's
a
the 3
grump.
exclamation marks. It does it.
He should really try to find some outlet for those negative feelings.
But yeah, so you basically go through. There's so many things you got to do in this game to get everything done. So, okay, here's a good example. This is one bit that took me forever. I couldn't figure out how to get her out of the way because
Get
you
her off
need to
the
come
poking
here
machine.
and watch the guy open the safe.
Mm.
So you need to record that video there, and the guy walks in, opens up the thing, types in the combination, you can slow it down and see it. But every time you try and get rid of this chick, like this,
She comes back.
she comes back. So you have to go into the past and trick the guy that's carving this statue, and you change out his chisel for a left-handed chisel so that when he uses it, he chips the statue and the statue breaks, because he was doing his twin brother, and the only difference between them is one's left-handed, one's right-handed. So then the guy's like, oh, I'm so... and they're like, let's switch places. So they switch places. So then the arm with the sword will be on the other side. So when you kick her,
She trips over the sword.
she won't be able to grab onto his arm and come back at you. She just goes down the steps. But yeah.
See how? That's like a puzzle game at its finest.
Yeah, you literally have to think in 4 dimensions,
Mm.
which is very cool. But yeah, so I'll get out of that. So what was I going to say? I was going to say thank you very much, man, for coming and hanging out with me and talking D&D and stuff. I'm very excited for the new D&D 6th edition, or 5.5, whatever it is.
5 point whatever, yeah. It's gonna be okay, I think.
Well,
They've taken what's good and then added a bit more.
the thing I'm most upset about in the D&D community is everyone's always so aggressive towards Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they do this and they do that. They're bad people. But the fact of the matter is, like, when the D&D community gets upset for whatever reason, be it the way they're going to try and monetize their own ideas by charging people to use them, you know, all those
Oh yeah, that one D&D, not one D&D.
the OP,
Yeah, that debacle.
yeah, that debacle. everyone's really holly hoppy pissed off. But I'm like, listen, a business needs to make money. So I understand they wanted to get some of the money out of Critical Role and stuff. People that are making millions from their thing. I get it. As someone that's run a business, like you'd feel almost like you just gave away tens of millions of dollars. People get all holly hoppy pissed off about it. Biggest issue I've got with D&D is the main people that start the fights with those things. So, for instance, with the D&D movie, we almost lost the sequel because everyone, as soon as the D&D movie came out, everyone was putting hate on Wizards, saying, oh, they're just trying to cash in, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing this. They're the worst people ever.
Yeah.
And then when the movie turned out to be awesome, but there was horrible box office numbers because they'd told all their audience not to go and boycott it. That was, we almost missed out. So
I feel like they're doing that right now with Star Wars and the Acolyte, because they're shitting on it real heavily, and I'm like, you're gonna stop all this IP shit from being made, hey?
Yes,
like, that's what is gonna happen. Like,
calm the
you want
fuck
something
down.
to complain about, just shut up and watch it, and for what it's for, entertainment. You know.
That's what it is. And like, here's the thing: if it's not good, then you don't have to watch it. Everyone else will stop watching it.
Up.
Yeah, you don't need to make it political and start asking people to boycott things. Just enjoy the fucking show. Here's a question for you: is the Acolyte good?
I think it's fine.
There we go. Now, the fact you said fine to me says that it's all right. It's not the top.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say
it's not the Mandalorian.
It's not 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Like Mandalorian, I think was one of the best Star Wars things I've seen.
That was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, that was crazy. And why was it? Because it's a character concept. Everyone loved Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
They took that. Everyone loved Yoda. They made him cute, Baby Yoda.
Yep.
Just that in its own, pretty good.
The start of the whole concept with it, it was kind of like a Monster of the Week kind of thing. Like it was a Bounty of the Week in season 1, and I was like, I'm down for that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Well, that's it. And like it was a good show. We all loved it, and we kept watching it. It's like The Witcher was great, and then they made some bad decisions, and the cast held them to. They didn't listen to old mate when he tried to steer them right, and shit went downhill. That's their decision. That happens. That sucks. But this D&D stuff, the pattern I notice, and this is something I don't know if you've seen this. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Whenever people get upset, they're like, listen, you need to boycott Daggerheart and D&D Beyond and Wizards. And
yeah, they're all about getting people onto their bandwagon.
Yeah, go to Drive-Thru RPG and download my thing that's only $3.
Yeah.
But we'll really show Wizards. If 50,000 people download my $3 campaign, then we'll really show Wizards.
Gatekeepers, man.
And I'm like, dude, it just sounds like you're trying to get people to buy your products instead of Wizards. Like, don't fucking pretend you're actually doing good. I don't know. That just annoys me.
I think, yeah. Fandoms, that's kind of like why I wanted to do this podcast, because I'm like, there are positive fandoms out there and it's ruined by bad voices. So let's get some positive talk on there.
Dude, you've hit the nail on the head. It's like, that's like, honestly, I think you and I are trying to do the same thing. You just do it better and do it more professionally.
Oh,
you do fandom. You come up with Instagram and TikTok and your hula hoops and your Pac-Man video games, and you do your research and post your posts regularly. Really good content. I go on stream and say, like, I literally put the join now for stream together on, and I'm like, I want to talk D&D.
Anybody,
come talk. So I've talked to Fizz a couple times, like for the entire night, just talking D&D. And my plan is, Stephen, Clerical Error, me and him are actually going to have a bit of an argument about. I recently went through all the subclasses and said which is the worst subclasses.
Yeah.
And he went through my video and told me all the areas I was wrong.
So you guys are going to talk about that.
Yes, and we're going to go through it brutally and passionately, and like with love and respect, because that's what it's like. But it's going to be fun because we're just going to talk Like, he's like, oh no, that's one of the best subclasses, and wizards are powerful, and this is this, and I'm like, fuck them all, they all suck. But yeah, so I will say this. I'll say what I'm excited for. Ready for the new D&D?
Go for it.
Recently, while redoing all the subclasses, I found out I'd skipped a whole heap of subclasses. One of them that I found was the Lunar Sorcerer.
I thought they were new.
They're fairly new, but they're one of the ones that is making it across to 5.5 or whatever it is. So what that is, I'm going to just bring it up now, is I think it's right up there with Abyssal, Aberyl, I always forget it.
The Sorcerer one?
The Dark Sorcerer.
Yeah.
The Dark Sorcerer thematically is amazing, and there's a lot of subclasses that were amazing. But let me just show you. So
let me tell you.
Let me tell you what I show. So is it Druid? Yeah, I think the Druid is a good example. So if you go through the Druids classes, you've got all these ones here. Circle of the Moon, Circle of the Shepherd, even Circle of Wildfire. You go through, and all this stuff is mechanical.
Yep.
So you can summon Primal Spirit to your soul as an action, blah, 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 and it's got a cadence to it. When you go to the partnered content, and this is where I think people like you and Matt Mercer and Brendan Lee Mulligan, you guys have a way of... See, I'm a mechanical person. This is something that Wizards doesn't have. So when they describe the class, they always add so much more information. So you learn to summon feral children when a creature that's not... And it sort of has more of a story to why they have the things. And it just, to me, it always gives a lot more imagery. However, the classes, the Sorcerer, I think, is possibly, the Lunar Sorcerer is possibly the best written subclass in D&D 5e, so I'm very glad that it went across. So basically, the way it works is you choose which cycle you're on, like full moon, new moon, or crescent moon. So you get those spells. They also get more power when you're in that one. So whichever cycle you're in will be more powerful. So here's this. So like the current phase of your lunar embodiment can affect meta magic features. Each lunar embodiment feature phase is associated with certain schools of magic. So if you're on a full moon, which you choose by a bonus action, your abjuration and divination spells are going to be more powerful. New moon, enchantment and necromancy. Crescent moon, illusion and transmutation. So you can add shit on. But then they got waxing and waning.
Oh, mate.
So
as a bonus action, you use a sorcery point.
You can spend one sorcery point to change your lunar
one.
embodiment
It's a
to a
bonus
different
action.
Yeah, so you can literally like, okay, I want this to be more powerful. So you're going to change it. But because you changed it, it now reduces the sorcery points you spend when you use it for meta magic.
Yep.
And you can reduce the sorcery points spent for meta magic a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So instantly you've changed it, made it more powerful, and it's free. Then you get extra bonuses again. And like, it's one of those things that like, there's so many stacking abilities, but it's still really clear in how to use it. The imagery of it is really cool. The character is very entwined in the build. So even the meta magic's woven into it. The spells are woven into it. So I think this is one of the best designed classes.
It feels like the power of it and the meta magic and the points, the sorcery points and stuff, it almost like flows like the tide, and you can move it through, which is like
fuck you. Yeah, no, 100%. But I like saying it like a yobbo, not like a artist weaving words into a beautiful a parchment or some sort of sacred text.
Yeah, I'm like the sacred text that Yoda didn't care about being burnt. That's my sacred text.
I was going with the Blazing Saddles quote that I love so much. I put up a post of it on YouTube the other day. It's like Matt Mercer, and it was like, my mind is a weaving torrent of fluctuating through like all these amazing huge words talking about how crazy his mind is. And then it's me over the side going, God, you use your tongue purtier than a $20 whore.
Yeah.
That's me. But so this is what I love about the Critical Role stuff. Like at first level, it's this sentence here. This is the one thing Wizards hasn't learned to do.
Magic as runes traced out across your skin.
So what this is they go state like level, then sort of like a feeling to it.
Yep.
And then then like mechanical stuff. And then your essence remain invisible when inert, so they cover some offshoot mechanical stuff. Runes, bonus action, this, but then it comes back to it, and as it goes through, it sort of, where is this?
It alternates between factual mechanical text.
Yeah, like it's the flavor text
role-play
in between
text
that makes it so beautiful. So like, where is this god thing?
It's almost like they've done it so it's like what happens to your character in game.
Yeah.
What happens mechanically at your table, which is what it should say.
That's exactly it. But I actually wanted to get one thought from you because I don't know if you've seen this yet, but you're a lot smarter than me. You might be able to tell me what it means.
Okay. I'll have a look. But you're smarter than me too. We're both smart. Oh, College of Tragedy.
Smart. Have you seen this?
Smart. I have not.
Okay. So my issue with this is that this is one that I love in concept, but the issue with this is that there's mechanical things in this class that completely break the storyboard in D&D.
Yeah.
So in D&D, when you talk out loud, other people hear you. Like there's no fourth wall breaks, if you know what I mean. Like there's characters. Now this character actually has a where is it? Okay, here we go. Poetry and Misery. When you join the College of Tragedy at 3rd level, you learn to harness the beauty in failure, finding inspiration in even the direst twist. Whenever you or an ally within 30 feet of you rolls a 1 on the d20 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can use your reaction to soliloquize and regain 1 expended use of your bardic inspiration feature. So soliloquize, like a soliloquy, is when you step. It's a narrative tool that people use when they step out of the story and talk about their emotions.
Yeah, it'd kind of be like that. You know how in the Dukes of Hazzard they go over the fucking jump, and
that's it.
So that's the one. That's the rolling the one, and then it was at this moment he realized he fucked up.
Yes,
and then you get your bardic inspiration back.
That's it right there. I use the like
the act of talking to oneself.
When I thought of it, I didn't think of either one of those. Those perfect examples that explain it more. But I was thinking of the Whose Line Is It Anyway? Whenever they did the old detective stories.
Oh yeah.
He'd walk up and he'd go like, I hid the guy walks up and goes like, Did you kill the guy? You go, no. I don't even know who you're talking about. And the guy steps to the side and goes, I knew he could tell I was lying on account of the body was right behind me and I was holding the knife. And then you'd like step back into the story. And I'm like, I can see that.
Or like The Office.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those fourth wall breaks that I can see a lot of people being upset with because it's not D&D.
I think there does have an element there of detaching your character from the party. You'd have to establish maybe in game or as a DM that you are breaking the fourth wall, but people can hear you do that. So that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd do it.
the way I would do it is I would make them a Deadpool character.
Yeah.
I would make them a character that knows that it's a game. Like I had one of my first characters I ever made was a character that found a D20.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was a rock shaped like a D20, but whenever he was channeling with it, he heard the voices of the 13 deities. So there was deity A, deity B, deity, and the most powerful was deity M, but they shortened it down to DM.
Yes.
And that was the story. So the idea was he was listening to his own game be played, and it was like, oh, I could sometimes predict the future because he had divination wizard and some other stuff, and he was an archaeologist. But yeah, so that's how I played it, that he could actually predict the future because he was hearing the players say what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no.
So I love the idea, but I think it's perfect and I think it's amazing. I just think it's really advanced for a fucking.
I think it's not a beginner subclass for one, and also you got to go into that knowing that you have to do it with the idea that you're going to add something to the role play and not take something away from the role play, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically the way I approached it was like, I think the way I would go about it, the issue I have with it is that this is something that I would choose as a character choice, not so much a class choice. Like if I talked to the DM and said, I want to do this, and the DM's
to
like,
make it written in your actual class seems a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit forward. So I think it's one of those ones.
They did it to kind of put a rein on the people that were doing it as part of their character, so they couldn't.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, so
go
now
outside the
people that
lines
were
too
doing it as part of their character, now they can't do it. But maybe a lot of people were enjoying those little one-off insights. Like I had a character in Marx campaign, Wallomir, that was crazy, but he often would talk to the Twitch audience, and we call it breaking the fourth Wallomir. And he would, but he would actually approach the DM and say, hey, I'd like to approach the bench. And in the character's voice, he'd talk to Mark and try and reason with him about a certain ruling. Which is ridiculous, but a lot of fun when you're playing with friends.
Yeah.
All right, but anyways, man, thank you so much for putting up with me. I know sometimes I chase squirrels.
Okay. I do too.
It's fun, isn't it? Sometimes, lightning in a bottle right here, baby.
Yeah, but for us, it's like the bullets ricochet.
Yeah.
And we just catch them and read what's on the bottom of them, throw that one away and catch the other one and read that and throw that away. But it all comes out of the same gun. So it's all fine.
Hell yeah. And we're just firing them. But the thing is, like, I can see you doing good things with Fandom. And I do love that. I will send you Steve's details, but I will also be talking to him very soon. I felt so bad about tonight I wanted to get him on, but I was just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to talk to you and then like cut you off because I love chatting to you.
Yeah.
But also,
I love chatting to you too, man.
Even if you were like, hey, we'll do it later, I wouldn't be able to cut him off either and then do you. So I was just like, well,
it has to be one or the other.
Yeah. And I said, I'll catch up with him soon. He's a sort of legend. And we'll put on the Among Us tournament on the cards. As soon as I find out a date that I've got time, I'll hit you up and we'll see if we can get a crew together because that would be really fun. The hardest thing to do is trying to get people not to watch my stream.
Well, I will be cheating.
Yeah, everyone does. I'll let you know just in advance before we go. There is a thing called a bro check.
Yeah.
Which is where you go up. I'd go up to you, and then right in front of you, I'd kill someone, and then just stand there and see whether you double me.
So do I double you or not?
Yeah, it's like it's a thing. It's like a psychological thing, because if you double me, it's gonna come in. It's gonna be a 50-50. Was it you or was it me? Because I'm gonna say it was you.
You also got to kind of, when you're playing more than one game and you're playing with friends, that's the long game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's you being like, you're not dobbing on me this time. and I'll remember that in 3 games' time when I see you with 3 bodies at your feet.
There is a game mode where you've got an assassin for the good team and an assassin for the bad team in Among Us. So basically, the good guy can choose anyone in the group and guess who they are, what type of killer they are.
Yeah.
In the voting screen.
Yeah.
And take his shot. And if they're innocent, he dies. And if they get it right, they die. So you can actually kill all 3 killers if you know what they are. If you could see that, if you go onto somebody else's stream and you can actually see who they are because that person's dead, then you can cheat. But then the assassin, who's a thing, can also kill all the good people and win that way. So one of the times, basically, I did the long game once where I was the assassin. And somebody asked me, what role are you? And I said, I'm the assassin. And they said, are you the assassin? I said, I never lie. I'm the assassin. And then they shot me and I died. And I was they're like, he was the assassin. And I was like, oh. And then I did that again. And then the next time I was assassin, one of my friends, Jelly, went, hey, Mod, what role are you? I went, I'm the assassin. She's like, are you? And I could hear her like trying to cycle through to get to it. So I put her as the good guesser. I said, I am. No, trust me, I would never lie. I would never lie. I'd take your shot. And then I shot her. And so it looked like she tried to kill me and died. And I was like, oh, what happened there? I don't know what happened. I totally am the assassin. And then I slowly killed everyone one by one. And yeah, it literally was a long... it's probably one of my proudest psychological moments because it was over like 6 games that I convinced everyone that I never lie.
Only to lie and win the one.
To win the one, yeah, that's what matters. But hey, good night, dude. I won't hold you up any longer. Thank you so much for playing. And thanks for having me on your fandom thingamabob. Hang on, let me find... It's not Fandom Chronicles. I was about to say Fandom Chronicles.
Yep. My fans are going to be portal hoppers, and then I'm going to change that to like poppers.
Oh, that's fucking way better.
All my poppers.
Do you watch the Social Pillar?
No. What's the Social Pillar?
Social Pillar podcast. It's on Twitch. They normally talk some pretty high level D&D stuff.
Oh wait,
like
yeah,
we did.
no, you showed me that last time.
Yeah. So they were trying to come up with names, and then the Social Pillar. And the thing they came up with was the Pillarites. I was like, socialites.
Yep. Or spillers.
Spillers. Also good. But yeah, I was like, Pillarites? Sounds horrible.
Yeah. Pillarites. That sounds like a drug user.
It does, doesn't it? I'm thinking the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
But no, I think on Monday I'm doing the Lancer stream. But as soon as I've finished one thing of Lancer, the next time I do a stream, I'm doing all the D&D things. So if you see me go on, I'll send you a message. Feel free to jump on and just click in Twitch chat and join in and start talking shit about there. Because honestly, you'll get a lot of views from the D&D 5.5 shit. At the moment, like people are pumping out those things. And if you type in D&D into YouTube, that's all that comes up. Like everyone's pumping it out. So I know when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, I got like a couple videos that were like 6,000 views or some shit like that.
Yeah, same as me. I actually got one on Instagram. I'll show you. Well, I won't show you, but I'll tell you. When I was doing reels on Instagram with my Baldur's Gate content, one of my reels went for 94.8K.
What?
Yeah. It was the one about the spiders. Another one went for 22.9K. It's just posting it like you can't pick it and you can't plan for it. You just put shit on that you think is going to trend and it might. That's what you do.
Hang on a sec. What's the girl that wrote Handmaid's Tale? Tale. Oh, what's her name? post-abortion Twitter. I'll show you. This is why I'm not allowed to watch. Here we go. Yeah, Margaret Atwood. Margaret. I got to show you this. This is my greatest secret. No one else knows this. Oh, no, Margaret.
Oh, and you're about to tell her your whole stream.
Oh, all of them. If you're... Okay, here we go. Is this going to be the one? Here we go.
Called you out on Twitter.
The
wait, is this you, Mod?
This is me. So I had to cancel this account because this is like this is when it first started. This thing got so many, like for 6 months, I was getting messages back about it.
Oh, wow.
And like, I just couldn't fucking
What's the username there? Australian Beauty.
Australian Beauty. I was all about Australian Beauty and I was talking Australian politics and shit. But then I went into a thing and I watched about a month of Norm Macdonald and I was studying his tweets and how he annoys people. And basically, I read this post and it was Margaret E. Atwood. Like, I just watched Handmaid's Tale. I never read it. I don't read. But I watched it and loved it. Absolutely amazing story. But I saw this post about it coming to life and that. So I was like, I literally spent about 3 hours writing this post. And so 4 hours ago. And I sat there and I was like, oh, no. And I'm like, kept changing it. And it started off like, I think it was like, you don't know anything about this book or something. And I just kept changing it. And I wanted to I was like, okay, I need to be dumb. I need to be dumb. I need to be a target. I can't attack downwards. I need to attack like a cretin. So I rewrote it. So I told the person that wrote the book, I think you and I were watching different shows. Which it used to be longer and I chopped out words and I got it to the perfect length. And dude, I was like, my phone was vibrating, 99,000 dislikes. You've never seen anyone get so ratioed. And then I went through, and every time someone posted something funny, I'd give it a score out of 10. So as people are saying shit back to me,
4 out of 10.
I'd be like 4 out of 10. Sure. And then people were writing articles about how stupid I was, but then people started writing articles, actual articles, saying, hey, it was so fucking funny. It was like, hey, this guy might be a comic genius. They're like, it seems like he's taking the piss. And yeah, it went pretty crazy. But that's why I don't social media. Like that. I don't do political post media anymore because even if it's fucking funny,
people don't take it that way.
Well, it was on my phone for it was well over 6 months. I'd get a message like, "Nuh-uh," and I'd just be like, "The fuck is this person messaging me for?" It was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's
move on.
Yeah, it's like Pootie Tang. He's so good at kicking ass, he can send you a letter with a picture of him kicking your ass, and then you get the letter 2 weeks later, you read it, and then you hear a knock at the door, you go open the door, and it's Pootie Tang, and he kicks your ass, and you still don't know what happened. The people were just fucking annoying. But, still, I think creatively, that might be my crowning achievement.
Well, I certainly enjoy it.
Yeah, well,
I think that, look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words and an ellipses. And it's funny because it's presented in a dumb way, but it's actually pretty intelligent.
That's what it's about. That's why Bill Maher.
Yeah,
Maher. Every time he starts talking, he tries to be the smartest person in the room, which makes his comedy suck. If he was a little bit more humble and just played with people instead of trying to correct them. He's a really funny guy, but he gets caught in.
He's really smart, but he needs to be witty.
Yeah, and he needs to be willing to either be wrong, not be wrong completely, but just for a little bit, just to let people think they're right a little bit longer, so he can
Even
have.
if you say you could even start off with whatever you're saying. For the purposes of this argument, blah, 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 whatever you wanted to say. But anyway, I got to shoot.
That's right, man. Hey, good to see you. I'll talk to you later.
Catch you later, bro. Love you.
Love you, dude. Bye.
Bye.